homebistro.com. Freshly prepared, home-delivered, restaurant-quality gourmet meals delivered straight to your home. Choose from over 50-plus gourmet meal options cooked by world-class chefs and delivered frozen, ready to eat within minutes and no commitment. Welcome to the one-shop gourmet food delivery, specializing in affordable options to eat right and feel great. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Every ingredient is handpicked to the highest standard. And why you should buy from homebistro.com? Restaurant quality, made with natural ingredients, delivered right to your door. Overnight shopping is available. Diabetic, paleo, heart health, and vegetarian options to eat. Doing business since 1999. Courteous, knowledgeable, and professional support. Complete PCI compliant SSL security ordering, and great meals. Choose from some of my favorite dishes: the Mediterranean chicken with orange honey sauce, the charbroiled chicken romesco, or the grilled chicken breast with sweet and spicy vegetables. No matter what you choose, you can't lose with homebistro.com. Eat great, feel good, and save some money with homebistro.com. Hit the link in the description section below for more information. Who that family? Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform stores where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and who that to you.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the Sports Coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit for Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that to the black and gold family, man? What's going on, fam? Much love to the family chiming in on this installment of the Great Saint Think Tank entitled The Sports Coma. This one, Saints News, Saints Restructure Demario Davis and Cam Jordan's deals and more. I like to say what's up to the Great Saint Think Tank. Salute to you. Thank y'all for joining us on this installment of the show. Big ups to the family members as we coming to you live and direct on our Sunday edition of the Sports Coma. Just chiming in with the family members. Much love to you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for your support and all of the great things that you guys do. You know I got love for you guys. I always open up the show thanking you guys, because without the Great Saint Think Tank, there is nothing. This show does not exist. So you are the focal point. You are the strength. You are the power. You sit on top of the pyramid, not them. You are the power. That is the absolute, undaunted, 1,000% truth. And the reality of all things that are real is that all power comes from you. So use it very wisely. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday edition of the show. I just wanted to give a shout out to all the family members out there. Much love to all the family members. And again, I always want to give Big shots out and love to all of the great Saint Think Tank family members and the people that's chiming in, because you never know who might need that positive injection, that fusion of empowerment. Right now, it's a very difficult time. A lot of stuff is going on in the world. So any chance that I can get to spread upon or to, the direct positive energies toward the great Saint Think Tank and anybody out there that might be in ear range of what I'm saying, I'm just going to throw all the love and power to you and everything that is great and good to you. You are wonderful. You are excellent. You are supreme. You are unique in this universe, and take pride in knowing that there is only one you, baby, and that the universe revolves and centers itself around you. And without you, this would not exist. Think about that for a second and take pride and power in such thoughts. Take pride in it. Take pride of it and cast away, my friends and family members, the ridiculous, stupid, and ungodly terms of non-essential. Every being is essential because the Most High will you to be here. You are indeed essential to everything that is real. So cast all these dumbass non-essential titles off of you and know that you are unique and you are the only one of your kind that exists. Even if you're a twin, you're still unique. And that you are even much identical, but internally you're a little bit different, which makes you unique. So take pride and take onus of that and hold that, own that, and know that you are great. So with that being said, I'd like to give a big shout out to all the great Saint Think Tank family members in the stream for this beautiful Sunday. It's a magnificent, beautiful Sunday out there. And I hope you guys are enjoying this. And I will not hold you too long on the show, I promise, to let y'all get out there and enjoy the show. So with that being said, I'd like to open up the broadcast by giving a shout out to all the family members in our roll call. Cameron, big ups to Cameron. Good to see you. What's up, Muse? Good to see Muse in the building. Much love to you. Tori, what's up, brother Tori? Who that to you as well? Much love. Appreciate you guys for being here as well. All right, Tori says, sorry to hear it. Okay, her broadcast put you a little ease. Okay. Cameron feeling a little sad. How about that? See, that's what I'm saying. I didn't read that comment, but Cameron, don't just take pride. I'm telling you, everything's gonna be fine. It's gonna be all right. We are strong people. Listen, we're gonna make this. Kai the Great 84, who that to you as well. And Cameron, no, let me go. Cameron says that this past few days I'm going through depression. My mom passed away during a car accident. I really miss my mom every day. Oh, how sad. How very sad. Cameron, I was not aware of of that tragedy. I'm sorry to hear that. And listen, understand that we are out here. We're gonna pray for you, and we're gonna think about. We're gonna send all that positive energy to you that we possibly can. That is a very tragic situation. My condolences to you and your family. And that is most terrible. But like I said, there's a plan, and most people might not understand it right now because of the tragedy of the moment. But there's always a plan. Things don't just randomly happen. Whatever that plan may be, it's going to be a positive thing to you. Great things are ahead of you. And although that's a tremendous tragedy to undertake, Cameron, I issue my condolences to you and your family. I also issue my love. I issue the great Saint Think Tank family and our blessings upon you and your entire family, that you make it through this and gain all of the positiveness that you possibly need to gain from this. And of course, take your time to grieve as well. So that's a tremendous. I am so sorry to hear that. And like I said, my condolences to you and your whole family, my friend. Much love to you. And don't go very far. Just know that we love you. We care about you. And we appreciate you being here. So you're here for a reason, Cameron. Hear these powerful words. So I just want you to know that we're all going through rough times and we're going to be here together holding it up. So I appreciate you, my friend. And once again, my condolences to you and your family. So sorry to hear that. All right, let's go on. Brian, who that to you as well. Big ups to you. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Tragic 504, who that to you, fam. I had a scheduling conflict. I was supposed to have TJ on yesterday at 5, but I had a scheduling conflict. But we're gonna see if we can work something out. I'm still texting with my brother. He got some family stuff that he taking care of, and if not this weekend, then we're gonna put something together during the week. I'm gonna get him on. Right now, sometimes I schedule conflict like that. Okay. Let me see. Brother. Matter of fact, let me see. He just sent me something. All right. Let me see if I can read what hold on here. All right. Just give me just a second. I'm communicating with him right now. All right. Just communicated with him. He might pop in. We're gonna cover some stuff, and he probably will pop in during this show. Matter of fact, so we'll just monitor it and make sure. He just sent me a message like he got some family stuff going on. Good dude, man. Good brother, man. Like I said, old TJ's from my neighborhood, man, and we grew up on the same side of things. Real strange how the universe works, man. And he's a good dude, solid person, man. Real positive brother, man. Good, and I'm glad they've formed a bond with him. Big ups to the rest of the family. He probably got a message from him, so it's gonna pop up. I'll let you know if it's this show or later on. If I do something special for him, he'll pop in and show some love and say what's up to the great Saint. Thank. Terrific dude, man. Got love for TJ. All right, what's up, brother Jerry? Who that to you, brother Jerry Paul Jr. in the building as well. Big ups to you. What's up, brother Dada? Who that to my brother Dada in the building as well. Who that to you? Trey Joseph, what's up, fam? Big ups to you. Trey says the great Saint Think Tank, win, lose, or draw. Gonna be on this thing rolling. We gonna keep it real, baby. Brother Trey, you know how I go, my brother. We gonna keep, if anything, brother, the great Saint Think Tank will keep it real 100% of the way. Appreciate you, brother Trey. What's up, KB? Who that to you? And happy Sunday to you as well. Who that? Swag fam, what's up, fam? Says the swag fan is in the house. Who that to you? All right, good to see you in the building. What's up, brother John? John Thompson in the building as well. Big Sean, what's up, fam? What's up, my brother? Good to see Big Sean in the building as well. Much love to you, fam. Appreciate you, my brother. All right, who else we got here? Tech Saint, what's up, Tech Saint? Big ups to you, brother. Good to see you in the chat as well. Much love. Saul LaPaul, who that to you? What's up, fam? What's going on, my brother? How you doing? Got his pretty daughter on there, smiling away. Oh, man. All right, good to see you there, Saul LaPaul. Who that to you? Kai, the great 84, says, we are rather unique. We are family. Simple as that. Thank you, Kai. Kai, the great 84, saying some great stuff in here. 100% real deal Holyfield, baby. Let me tell you something. What's up, brother Freddie? Brother Freddie chiming in from Shreveport in the building. What's up, that? What's up, fam? Thank you there, brother Jerry. Brother Freddie as well. What's up, Kyle? Who that to you? Kyle Walter in the building as well. Big ups to you, fam. Appreciate you showing up as well. Brother, what's up, brother Daryl? Brother Daryl, who that to you? Brother Daryl as well. What's up, Nashville Saint is in the building. What's up, brother? How you doing, Nashville Saint? Keeping it trill out there among all them Titans peoples out there. Much love to you, Nashville Saint. Appreciate you as well. Young City Nightwater is in the building. What's up, fam? Much love to you as well. All right, all the great Saint Think Tank family members. What's up, Idris? Idris is in the building as well. Much love. Appreciate you. All right, who else we got chiming in? I think I got everybody up to this point. Much love to all the great Saint Think Tank family members. Let me see who else. I won't leave out nobody. Brother Jerome is in the house as well. Brother Jerome as well. What's up, Marco? Marco, big ups to you. Says, amen. Great positive message. And who that fam? Thank you, Marco, for being here. And Brandon Reese. What's up, Brandon? Good to see you. Who that to you, fam? And I mean it, man. Y'all know that I open up every show by giving a shout out to the family members. Also try to throw as much positive energy into the atmosphere as I possibly can, man, and entertain. And not only, because I understand what's going on out here, I really do. But as long as we keep that energy, that vibration high, they can't, and see, a part of it, and I don't want to get in, I know it's Sunday, I don't want to get into a sermon. I don't want to get into a sermon, baby. But let me tell you something off top, man, that we are a great force here in the universe, man. And understand this, man. A lot of the things that's going on in this world is the fact that they try to pull the people down a certain wavelength so that you be in a certain area so they can get at you. As long as you keep that energy up high, man, and keep that faith in the Supreme, the Most High, man, ain't nothing them people can do to touch you, baby. Let me tell you something, baby. I'm going to just tell you, baby, off top, baby. I'm going to let you know, baby. Brandon, big ups to you as well. And all the family members appreciate you on this one, man. But listen, man, this is a tremendous Sunday, man. I was outside looking up at the sky, beautiful day, man, all the way around the city. Everything's getting better, and I'm just happy to have y'all here on a Sunday. All right, man. Let me pop this stranger up in here. What's up, stranger? How you doing?
Hey, man. How you doing, Big Q? How you doing, brother?
My brother TJ in the building. Good to see the brother TJ from the State of the Saints podcast, bro. Appreciate brother TJ. How you doing this Sunday, my brother?
Hey, man. I'm doing great, man. Just enjoying life. Just been a fun-filled weekend. Like I said, I mentioned, man, my wife, her best friend, husband came into town. They came in from New York to spend time with us. So shouts out to them, man. You know, they huge Alabama Crimson Tide fans up in here, man. I'm a lonely LSU Tiger fan, but nevertheless.
Oh, man. No. We catching hell right now, TJ. Them Alabama people. Man, bro, we catching hell with that, man. They say y'all had it one time and we got it the rest of the way, bro. Did they tell you that one yet?
Nah, man. They cool, man. They cool.
Okay,
people,
good.
They
got class.
Yeah, they love the Crimson Tide, man. Justifiably so, man. They both are graduates of University of Alabama, man, and they love that Crimson, man. So I got nothing but love for them, man.
Right, well, there it is, bro. Then we take it to another level, TJ. We'll tell them we got that SEC love, bro. If we can't get it, bro, let the SEC man get it. You know what I mean? Exactly. As long as anybody else is SEC guys, we're good to go. Because I myself am LSU purple and gold guy as well. Yeah. So we gotta let them have it. But once again, TJ, bro, appreciate you being here, man. I know you're busy, man, and much love to you popping up on the show, bro. Showing love to the Great Saint Think Tank, bro, as well. Now, bro, I'm gonna hit you with a few topics, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints are doing some restructuring. They just did one. I'm gonna cover some stories today here from it with them freeing up about $13 million in cap space of restructuring. Demario Davis and also who was that other one? The Cam Jordan. Plus they signed Ty Montgomery back. Tell me what you think about some of the moves, TJ. How you liking what they're doing right now, bro?
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned on the State of the Saints podcast that I like the way that they're going, man. They're trying to make sure that they look at all the avenues that involve their team before they make any real drastic decisions. I mean, and then also it helps when you have some members of your team that are willing to restructure their contracts and renegotiate their deals. So that's definitely a plus, and that's something that I think that we as Saints fans, we can appreciate. I just like some of the moves, man. Even unfortunately, they cut Josh Hill, Jared Cook, but you also have Adam Troutman waiting in the wings, waiting for his opportunity, man. So that shows you right there, man. The New Orleans Saints are always thinking ahead. They're always, right there when it comes to understanding their team and also just trying to sub guys out. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the rest of the money, trying to get it under the cap. But I think they've been doing a good job so far.
Yeah, bro, I gotta agree with you on that, TJ, bro. They got a lot of work to do, cuz you talking coming from north of 60 million, bro.
Right.
I mean, when the last time that's never been done before in the history of the Saints, bro. You got to come all the way down from 60 north of 60 million to get up underneath just to get to zero, bro. Just to go up from 0 to 5 to 10 to 15 north of that, so you can have enough money to sign draft picks and everything else. Right. So that's a chore within itself. Yeah. Also, bro, let me ask you this, bro. Y'all know you've been charting the draft and you've been looking at some draft stuff, bro. Mm-hmm. Number one, let me just break it up like this. Give me because I've always keep listing my top 3 biggest needs in the Saints organization. I would say the quarterback, got to solidify the quarterback position. I said defensive end is my second important, then the secondary. What say you, bros? What is your top 3 most needed areas of concern on the Saints team?
Me, I think the number one priority got to be the linebacker position. I think that if you look at the Saints, they're the only team in the division that's never drafted a key linebacker. That guy that's sideline to sideline, a guy that can wreak havoc. I mean, Tampa has done it twice. 3 times if you count Quan Alexander. So,
That's
I mean,
true.
then you have out there in Carolina, I mean, they had Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis, you know, and then you look at Atlanta, I mean, they got Debo Jones. To me, the Saints never drafted that guy. So I look for them to try to draft a linebacker, a sideline linebacker, and also free up Demario Davis to do his thing. You notice when Quan Alexander was traded over from the 49ers, you seen Demario Davis play at an extremely high level because he wasn't pretty much handcuffed because of the limitations of the guys around him. So I think that the Saints need to get someone out there, a guy that they can actually mold and, you know, be that sideline guy. The next position I would have to say cornerback, because you have to look around the room. I mean, you have some good cornerbacks out there. I mean, you have Marshawn Lattimore, you got Janoris Jenkins, but Janoris Jenkins is up there in age, and also there's still a question mark about what they're going to do with his deal. So I think they need to get a little younger with that. I think they have a good combination of young guys and seasoned veterans that will be able to rally behind a young guy. I'm not looking for a cornerback that can just play zone. I want a cornerback that can play in and out. I think that's something that the Saints have suffered with because we're always looking and hoping and wishing and praying that somebody doesn't go down because the cornerback play would just drop off tremendously. So you definitely need that. And lastly, I would have to say you have to look at the quarterback position. Look, we don't know if Jameis Winston is going to come back in the Saints uniform. And if he does, we don't know what he's going to do to produce. So, I mean, you always want to have somebody there that can be possibly wait in the wings and, you know, get the opportunity when necessary. I mean, this is a 100% injury rate league here we talking about. This is, you know, the NFL, you're going to get hurt. I think people just look at Drew Brees and they look at that and say, oh, he was the Iron Man. But I don't think people understand how much of an anomaly a solid quarterback play is, 16 games, you know, out of the season, year in, year out. So you're always going to need somebody that can possibly come in case your quarterback goes down, and that can give you, even if it's not the same type of production, just enough to get you a win for that week.
Well, bro, listen, I'm not mad at you for picking a linebacker. A lot of family members are on the linebacker spill, but it's just like in my mentality, I'm like, bro, we just took Zach Bourne with the 3rd round pick. You know, we roughly played the majority of the time out of a modified nickel set, less than, and I'm being conservative, less than 10% of the plays that we call defensively is out of the 3-4 set. You know, I would even say accurately, probably less than 5%. So let me ask you this. With that being said, and I know the Saints is one of the articles we're going to cover today. They did reach out to linebacker out of Tulsa. What's his name? Zaven Collins. Right. Right. So, I mean, you might be hitting on something right there, TJ. But do you think, realistically speaking, who tell me that? Do you think that the Saints would take one in the 1st round? What would your top 3 position? 1st round pick for the Saints, 2nd round and 3rd round pick be if you were in control of if you were Mickey Mouse Loomis making the calls for Sean Payton? Who would you pick with that 1, 2, and 3, bro?
Look, the NFL is a copycat league, Big Q. And when teams look at guys like Devin White, Levante David, and how much Devin White was just out there wreaking havoc, forcing fumbles, getting interceptions, running backs can barely do anything. He was right there in their face. And also he
covers a lot of field, bro, don't he?
Exactly. That's what teams look at. You know, when teams win Super Bowls, you have 31 other teams that look in the scene. What did they do in order for them to be able to duplicate that success? If you look at the New Orleans Saints, like I said, they have yet to draft that thumper that they need. Now, they're good at going out here in free agency and getting guys like Demario Davis and Jonathan Vilma and, you know, Danielle Ellerbe, you know, when he was healthy. But the thing about it is you never had yourself a young stud. And I understand we're talking about Zach Bourne, but Big Q, there's a reason why he didn't play. You know, like there's a reason why he wasn't out there and he was only out there when it comes to the NASCAR package. Now, I'm not saying that Zach Bourne can't have a successful career. You know, I got my son up in here. All right. But anyway, yeah, I mean, we have all these different guys that can, you know, you have the linebackers and my son got everything going crazy up in here. But anyway, you have the linebacker position, you know, I feel like is a primary focus. You had Zach Bourne, but I'm still like skeptical about why why didn't he play? I've seen the development of all those other guys. Even with Cesar Ruiz from a certain extent. I don't expect for him to play the guard position. So when he did play good at guard, that showed me that is a lot of promise when he plays the center position. And then Adam Troutman, we've seen his development. But why is it that Zach Bourne stayed on special teams? Why is it that Zach Bourne can yet get into the game, maybe like one or two plays, and it was just weird, man. So I just think that the wave is a thumper linebacker, a guy that's sideline to sidelines, a guy that can cover tight ends, that can cover running backs, that can get pressure on a quarterback. They're hybrids, that's what you need. So in the first round, I'm looking at a linebacker. In second round, I think they need to look at the cornerback position. I just think that they need to get younger at the cornerback position and get somebody out there that can cover both sides. And like I said, once again, like if you want to get quarterback or even go to a wide receiver, if you want to go into some of those later rounds as well, because even though I like Deontay Harris as a kick returner and he's a burner, you have a 5'6", 5'7", 175-pound wide receiver going up against guys that are mountains of men, 300-pound guys and 250, 220-pound safeties and cornerbacks. So, it's inevitable. Most likely he's going to get hurt. So if you can get a guy that can be a burner, that can take the top off the defense, and also, comes with a little bit of size, somebody kind of similar to the size of a Brandon Ayuk out there and for the 49ers, or even a Nelson Aguilar, I think that would be something that the Saints need to look into, and I think it would help them tremendously.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense, TJ. To be honest with you, bro. Me personally, bro, I think when you sit up there at 28, bro, you liable to take anybody, bro. That usually when you that far back, you take the best player available. How you feel about the Saints taking a guy like if Terrace Marshall Jr. fell to you, 6'4", 220-ish, runs route well. If Terrace Marshall, the wide receiver at LSU, fell to you at 28, how would you feel about that maneuver?
Well, I like Terrace Marshall, and I think that he's going to be a good pro. Every wide receiver that comes into the league from LSU seems to, hit and be successful. But I just think that the Saints need to get away from that. Look, I think that a lot of the reason why the Saints got a lot of these short, intermediate, good hand fighting wide receivers is because of Drew Brees. Drew Brees' lack of arm strength towards the tail end of his career has limited the New Orleans Saints. And you have to go out here and get guys that can run crisp routes. And Drew Brees can know that those guys are going to be where they need to be. Now that you can have a quarterback that can possibly push the ball down the field, well, that opens up a variety of different things you can do offensively. Sean Payton, in some ways, could be possibly handicapped by the fact that Drew Brees can't do some things. I think the Saints need to get away from the traditional possession type receiver. If you notice, Big Q, the Saints used to have those possession receivers, but it was maybe like one, maybe two. You had Marcus Colston, and but besides that, you had Robert Meacham and Devin Henderson, who can take the top off the defense, and that was really explosive. And then you had Lance Moore, like kind of similar to a Marcus Colston, the one that kind of plays close to the sticks, on third down, 3rd and 5, get you that first down. So I think the Saints can kind of transition back to the things that made them successful in a high-powered offense around the 2009 to about 2014 year when Drew Brees was in the prime of his career. So no knock on Marshall, but I do think the Saints need to go with speedy receivers that can generate some excitement and also keep the defense guessing.
Well, bro, you did that. I am definitely a person that loves to stretch the field, bro, to open up things, that keeps everything wide open. You can stretch that field. So obviously by I'm speculating here, but are you a fan of Drew Brees retiring and we moving this era to somebody else? Are you a fan of that, TJ? What you like?
Well, I'm definitely in favor of Drew Brees retiring. Not because I have anything against Drew Brees.
Right.
I'm very cognizant of the fact that Drew Brees has given us great moments. In the Saints organization as fans. This guy legitimized his team. I mentioned that before, but I don't want Drew Brees to be a shell of himself, and I definitely don't want people to just be using Drew Brees, just so they can feel good about themselves. To me, I think that some fans are looking at that a tad bit selfishly. They're looking at the moments and the nostalgia that Drew Brees represents, and sometimes you can get clouded. Sometimes when you're in love with somebody, sometimes you don't see those imperfections because you're so focused on the love that you have for a person. A lot of people aren't paying attention to what Drew Brees has been doing over the last couple of years. And they'll say, well, he's been putting up big numbers. But if you notice, it starts off pretty high and it starts to kind of taper down going into the playoffs. And it's no fault of his. Fall of the time is undefeated, Big Q.
Yes,
I use the example. I use the example all the time, man. I say, when I used to play basketball, when I was at the gym at Jackson State University, I'm on a fast break. I can jump so high, I can just drop the ball in there. You know what I'm saying? But ask me to do that at age 34, I can't do it, man. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's the fact that my body said no mas. And you don't want Drew Brees. If Drew Brees gave you a little bit of hope and a little bit of great moments, that's fine. But you don't want him to just completely empty out the tank by just going out there giving you everything that he have. And I said before, the only thing that can help Drew Brees at this point is the Saints going to the Super Bowl. And if you can't promise that the Saints are going to go to the Super Bowl, it is only going to hurt Drew Brees' legacy. And you already have naysayers out there making it seem like everybody can throw for 80,000 yards, everybody can complete 70% of their passes, everybody can be as accurate. So if he comes back constantly and they end up wetting the bed in the playoffs, it's going to hurt his legacy even more.
Yeah, bro, you're right. I got to agree with 100% on that, TJ. I mean, this is going to be a less talented team than what we had a year ago. What makes sense for him to come on back to a less talented team? It's like he's running around like his feet in quicksand already. Man, he can't get out of harm's way. Nope. So, I mean, and then you're going to restructure. You're restructuring. It took there's a tool on SportTrack, one of my favorite online resources. Maybe you can use it as well. You go on SportTrack, and it gives you an opportunity to restructure, release, and everything. Bro, when I did it, it was maybe a couple of weeks ago. They were over $70+ million. It took 19 transactions to get them to 10 to 15+ million. So, Mickey has a lot of scribbling to do, if anything. So, I mean, it's not an easy thing. And you restructuring, you're going to release somebody, you're going to trade some guy. It equals all out to Super Bowl or bust means severely less talented team. Drew Brees' era needs to end. Now, in comparison to that, Drew Brees, peace you later. Thank you for all the great years. Who's next in your opinion? Who do you like? Do you like Jameis? We did a poll here, bro, and 66% of the people, bro, I didn't really know the great Saint Think Tank and Who Dat Nation love Jameis Winston that much. Bro, well over 300 people voted in that poll, TJ. Wow. 66% said Jameis.
Wow.
What do you think, my brother? Who you like? Give me your top three to be the quarterback in 2021 for the Saints.
Well, my top three, number one, clearly is Jameis Winston. I mean, Jameis Winston, you can make the argument that he just went to a bad situation. I say all the time, that if a team is picking first overall, they weren't very good. And when you are the first overall pick, you are picked to change the fortunes of that franchise, right?
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? Like if that franchise is struggling, everybody's looking at you as the savior of that franchise. But what happened was they didn't put a running game around them. They didn't put an offensive line. Basically, whatever Tom Brady needed to be successful, Jameis Winston didn't have it.
That's right.
So he was basically, on an uphill battle, right? Because he tried to do too much because he understood what was on his shoulders. So you go to another organization where you don't really have to be the guy. You just have to do your job, and you have other guys around you that are playmakers that can make your job a lot better. So I would have to say that he should be number one. Number two, I mean, you just have to put Taysom Hill right there. Taysom Hill has been with this organization. He's learned under Drew Brees. Whether you like the guy or not, I mean, he has been in the Saints organization. And, he has gotten some starting reps. I mean, a lot of people, he left a lot to be desired. But You have to think that he understands Sean Payton. He understands the guys on the team, understands the schemes. So you have to put him there. And if it was me, I kind of got a 3 and a 3A here. Number 3 to me would be Alex Smith. Alex Smith, I like Alex Smith due to the fact
the Washington quarterback.
Yep, you know what I'm saying? He got released by the football team. Right. I mean, he's a comeback player of the year. Great success story. But when he did play, he did okay. I'm not saying that he needs to be a starter or anything like that, but to have him in an organization, maybe behind Taysom or something like that,
right?
Somebody that you can actually come in. And my 3A would be a quarterback, a young rookie quarterback. Somebody maybe you can get like a Mac Jones if you want to go that route, if you can't get Jameis back. Or somebody like a Jamie Nelson, a guy that went to Wake Forest and also transferred to Georgia. Somebody like that. That's what I would do. If you want to grow with Taysom and you can't get Jameis, you got to make sure that you get a solid quarterback back there, even if it's somebody like Ryan Fitzpatrick. But you got to get somebody back there that you can at least win a couple games with, that can right the ship until you figure out exactly what you want to do. But Jameis clearly is the number one option.
Yeah, and bro, like I said, the entire Great Saint Think Tank and the Who Dat Nation, the majority of the people I polled, 66%. This was over Drew, over Taysom, over a trade. Bro, it was for over a trade of a veteran, bro, whether that be Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, whoever. It didn't make a difference. All drafting the quarterback. Those were the options, DJ. And they said, you know what, Q? 60% says Jameis Winston is the guy. So...
But I appreciate that, Big Q, that Saint fans are willing to put aside the favoritism of Drew Brees, that they will actually look to the future, because I was a little bit concerned, about a couple of the Saints fans out there who are still holding on to nostalgia, and I just think that the game, and it is unfortunate, man. And the only thing that I am glad about, Big Q, because I said this in the 2019 season, I said the worst moment ever would be Drew Brees getting booed in the Superdome. The only thing that saved Drew Brees was the fact that of COVID-19, and people weren't at the games. Like, they had a couple thousand people in there, but it wasn't to a point where the national, national television audience were able to hear them boo. Can you imagine Drew Brees playing the way that he did against Tampa? People would have booed him inside of the Superdome. They would have, man. And think about that. That would have been his last moment in the Superdome. Him being booed by the fans that fell in love with him back in 2006. And I am glad that did not happen. And that is one of the main reasons why I am advocating that he retires. Because I don't want that. I don't want Drew Brees to get booed. He dodged the bullet this year because of COVID. Right. But next year, if he comes out there and he has a repeat performance, the Boo Birds are going to be in full effect. And I don't want to see that, man, because he deserves much more than that.
Bro, you are 100% right on that, man. I damn sure don't want to see Drew Brees, the people booing Drew Brees, and that's the last moment. And I'm going to tell you, bro, you're right. I remember in the Minnesota matchup a couple of years ago in the Superdome, TJ. I seen, and what happened for me was, I witnessed Drew Brees couldn't will his team to win in that game. Yeah. He was trying all he came, and I was looking at him, and I said, it hit me. I said, he can't do it anymore. I see him out there. He can't get out of harm's way. He can't make the throws. He used it, and I seen it, witnessed. I said he couldn't do it. He can't will him to win. And truth be told, he was supposed to go last year. He went with that NBC contract. Coach Payton came back, asked him to come back because Taysom wasn't ready. Right. But, listen, bro, you're 100% right, bro. But listen, but I know you got some family matters, bro. You there entertaining. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you, bro, stopping in, man, and hollering at the Great Saint Think Tank. Much love to my dog, TJ. Say, bro, keep up the great work at the State of the Saints podcast. TJ is one of my favorite dudes out there. I got a lot of favorite cats out there that do it right. But TJ is a hometown kid. He's from the same hood. And I just got love for you, my brother. You keep doing great stuff. So much power to you, bro, your family, and everything that you're doing, my friend. And like I said, don't be a stranger, TJ. Pop up on here, say, Q, come on, let's go ahead and do this in there thing here. Pop up, because I think the last time you came on, bro, it was a ways ago. And that's on me. Sometimes life gets so busy, but I always want to make sure that we stay in touch,
Yeah, man, I appreciate you for having me on here. And like I said, man, I really enjoy it. You know, I'm always giving you a shout out because I respect what you do and how genuine and authentic that you are. And you're not trying to be like anybody else, man. You have your own mind. You know what I'm saying? You're building it, you know what I'm saying, brick by brick. And I can appreciate that, man. So keep on doing what you're doing as well. And you know, I definitely want to collab with you in the future, man. Let's get together and make a habit of this, man. I appreciate
That's
it.
right. That's right. My dog TJ in the building. Well, TJ, bro, appreciate you, bro, for popping in the Great Saint Think Tank, bro. And everybody there already, majority of people know who TJ is. But if y'all don't know TJ, who TJ is, go to the brother State of the Saints podcast. TJ is on YouTube. TJ is on other big platforms as well. TJ, tell the people that might not be familiar with you, my brother, where to reach you at.
Oh man, well you can go to youtube.com and search the State of the Saints podcast. You can check out all the videos that I've done. You can also follow me on Twitter at State of Saints, and also there's a Facebook page of the State of the Saints podcast where you can check out. I mean, give you up to the date information about the team, signings, questions of the day, just anything that you want to hear. You know, Saints related. You know, we're just like I said, building it brick by brick, man. I appreciate everybody that watches the State of the Saints podcast. And, man, hopefully in 2021, man, we finally get what we've been looking for, you know, get that Super Bowl championship, man. But we're going to be talking about it until we get there.
Yes, sir. No doubt about it, bro. And much love to you, my brother. Thank you once again, bro. You enjoy the rest of your weekend and your Sunday, my brother. And we'll holler later, my brother. Thank you.
All right, no problem, man. And I apologize for my son, man. I thought he was about to tear
No,
down my green screen.
no,
That's why I looked. I'm like, whoa. But anybody knows, man. If you follow that, man, my son always makes cameos. My 1-year-old son Paxton always making cameos on the show. So,
bro. He the future of the State of the Saints, bro. So he got to pop up that TJ. He got to know what's going on, brother.
Hey, I dubbed him the co-host a long time ago, man. Even if I didn't want him to be one, he forced my hand. So
there you go. That's how it go.
yeah.
But yeah, bro. Thank you, man. Ain't no problem, bro. We all appreciate family in here. Thank you, my brother, and you have a blessed day.
All right, you too, brother. Take care.
You too. That's brother TJ, man. Popped in, man. Much love to my brother TJ. Appreciate him popping in, man. Great dude, as y'all can see, man. Always terrific, man. And TJ is an awesome dude, man. Like I said, always give him love and support, bro, because you know he a family man. He doing it right. He building it strong, bro. And I got nothing but love for TJ, man. He always doing it, talking real and keeping it real. You know, and if anything, family, y'all know about me. You know, I love to keep it real, deal, Holyfield, baby. Well, TJ, one of them dudes, man. He keeps it real, deal, Holyfield. So much love. And I thank y'all guys for showing a lot of love to the brother TJ. He's excellent, man. Good commentary. Now, family, that's not going to be the end of the show. That was just a little something right there that I wanted to kind of drop on the family members and bring my dog TJ in to talk to the family as well. So gonna have a few more people chiming in later on. I just got through communicating for my Pelican post-game report family members that Ali Cosell, who's the one of the top insiders for the New Orleans Pelicans team, he did contact me. He had some obligations. We were supposed to get him on last week. We negotiating with him to get him on quite real soon. So I'm with y'all for the Pelican people. If you love the Pelicans, go to the Pelican post-game report in YouTube or go to the description section below. A link is there, and subscribe to the Pelican post game report. We're going to get NBA insider Ali Cosell, who covers the Pelicans, and get his thoughts on the team moving forward. We also going to bring Bob Rose back and a few other people. We're going to pop up here and get their thoughts as well. So we're going to keep this thing moving along. And like I said, family, we're going to chime in and on the rest of the show, and I'm going to cover some news and notes. So salute to my dog, TJ. Thank him for joining here as well. So I'd like to give a shout out to all the Great Saint Think Tank family members. Please strike upon the like button. If you hadn't hit the like button, please subscribe. If you aren't a subscriber, hit that subscribe button as we get ready to cover some news here on the show today. So give me a second. I'm going to share my screen with the family members, and then we'll get right to it. Hold on here. Let me see if I can. There we go. All right. Now, this is one I won't cover straight off the top. Saints create $13 million in cap space through restructures of two key players. And of course, this happened yesterday. I wanted to cover the article yesterday, but you know how it is when you have family members like, your children come along and, and they get all in your way. And the weekend is usually the time I try to reserve for my boys. I got two little boys. One just 13, the other one is 10 going on 11. So you want to kind of free up that time with them. So I promised them I won't spend too long today in this. So I will not. So I'm gonna go over these news notes and items with the family members, and then after I'm done, I'm gonna answer a few comments, questions, and concerns in the chat as well. So in this one, Saints create $13 million worth of cap space and restructures of two players. New Orleans Saints have made some expected salary cap saving moves by restructuring two key players' contracts. And of course, those two players are Demario Davis and Cam Jordan. Heading into Sunday morning, the Saints were, and this is coming from Canal Street Chronicles, one of my favorite resources. Cade Kistner is the writer for this one. Heading into Saturday morning, New Orleans Saints were sitting just under $60 million over 2021 season's salary cap. Now, they did, of course, sign veteran Ty Montgomery to a one-year deal. We'll get into that. That's the next one we're going to cover. But the deal actually saved about $200,000 in space. Only the top 51 salaries are counted towards the cap, while Montgomery deal kind of skirts that. So with that being said, the restructures of these were expected, especially of the veteran players who are leaders within the facility. To date, there are two players are the highest profile restructures on the team and should set the trend for other players making above minimum salary cap deals. Now, of course, Nick Underhill says Saints created $13 million in cap space by restructuring contracts to Demario Davis, Cam Jordan that he's told. Now, the restructurings save $13 million in space, which should bring the magical number down to $46 million. If the numbers are correct, family, we're talking about the fact that the black and gold now is gotten it down to about, according to this report, $46 million. And once again, remember, the Saints were hovering right around $100 million before they said it. Then it dropped to like $80 million. The restructuring of Drew was 20. That dropped it around 60 to 13 million, got it hovering around 46 or just north of 46 million. So, and I'm gonna then preference this, family. Y'all know how I like to give my facts and what I call visual receipts on screen. Well, I would then segue and show the family members the other contracts of people that's yet to be touched in this thing. So $46 million, everything is taken into account. It clearly marks the beginning of a, oh, wow, the Saints are doing it again tweet season. New Orleans has had a plan for the offseason all along, which is why some have continued to have the Saints postured as Super Bowl contender. In fact, moves like these could be a precursor to making a splash in the trade market. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the case because, you kind of throw everything out the traditional thinking wise when you're sitting up here, in this very unique area. You know what I'm saying? We've never been that far down anywhere before. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I would not expect they're looking to get rid of Malcolm Brown, the defensive tackle, maybe to get some picks and start some stuff. But also the Saints could definitely sign several players at a good veteran rate. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I talked about defensive players, cornerbacks. They've got several available guys like Kerry Hyder Jr., who had I think he had 8-9 sacks last year for the 49ers. There are other guys as well, Walker, who's there, and then who had 9 or so sacks. I think he was with Denver, I want to say, but they have other veterans that's available. Cornerbacks like Mike Hilton from the Steelers, who has some injuries, but is a solid cornerback. How about Mike Davis from the Chargers, a guy that was making some money? You double him up, he makes about $3 million a year. Guys like that could be guys the Saints could target because they don't have that big money. So we'll see how it shakes. But let's finish this one up. This clearly marks the beginning of that oh wow moment, as the writer writes. In fact, moves like this could be a precursor. Now, of course, Nick Underhill said he speaks about some of that as well. So 46 million, family, is what we anticipating it being at right now. So let's move on to the next article. And this one's coming from Saints Wire here by Sigler, who's also a very good resource for the Black and Gold family members here at the Great Saint Think Tank. Saints agreed to a 1-year contract extension with Ty Montgomery. Now, what this means is Ty Montgomery was, we had big dreams for Ty in the Saints system simply because Ty Montgomery is a versatile player. He kicks return, punt return. He's a running back that they converted, a wide receiver that converted to running back, but he's a guy that you could put on the field with the same time as Alvin Kamara. He blocks as well too. Very tough football player. He was banged up in a year, but toward the back end of the year with the 49ers matchup when Alvin Kamara ultimately got hurt. Remember, Ty Montgomery came in there with limited and just rushed for like 100+ yards. Well, that earned him enough another deal with the Saints, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Tasha. Appreciate Tasha with the super chat. She says, "Q." She says, "What is that you be sipping on in your cup?" I'm just asking for the people in the balcony. Just messing with you. Well, okay. All right. First of all, thank you for the super chat, Tasha. Appreciate you for that as well. And I have different things in there sometimes. Sometimes I have some tea. Sometimes I have some water. Sometimes I have some coffee, depending on the day. Like today I might have some coffee in there, stuff like that. But it's not usually any Elvin Gentry led liquors. You know what I'm saying? Any hard stuff, any brown stuff, any clear stuff. Usually, I have, tea or fruit juice or something like that in there. Now, during the Saints, during the Saints, a lot in-game streams that we were doing during the season, that have some beer up in there. I'm just going to keep it real deal, Holyfield. You ask the question, and I'm going to give you the answer. All right. Well, I appreciate the ask. I appreciate it. So there you go. All right. So let's move on. So there it is. Okay, the New Orleans Saints have continued to work to retain the free agent despite inhabiting some low ring of salary cap hell. I call it mega hell. Running back Ty Montgomery is the latest player to return to the black and gold. The team announced Saturday. Now, this came from NFL's Network's Tom Pelissero, who reported that it's a one-year deal at the veteran minimum, including 137.5 signing bonus, and then a good 137.5 for his signing bonus, which is pretty good. 6-figure signing bonus. Good for him. Montgomery's first year in New Orleans was largely frustrating. He received just a handful of touches in games while missing time with injuries and was frequently shuttled between the running backs room and the wide receivers room, where his NFL career started with the Packers and why he continues to wear number 88. Very versatile guy. I think he fits perfectly with the team. We just need to make sure that he remains healthy because, listen, he is a terrific compliment for Alvin Kamara. He really is. You can have Alvin Kamara lined up behind the quarterback and slide Ty Montgomery into a slot position. And to be honest with you, we haven't had a really good slot weapon for a long time. Now, we use guys like, we was using Traquan Smith, who got a little bit better. It took Traquan, 3+ years before he really turned into a slot man, because if you look at what he was used in at UCF, he wasn't that guy. He wasn't the guy there. He was a deep ball guy. You throw him the ball deep, he gets up under it to go. But he wasn't that inside guy. He wasn't built for that life. So you got a guy like Marquez Callaway who could play outside, who did show you could play inside as well. But if you look at Ty Montgomery, Montgomery could be a guy that could play that slot position for you. But he has so many usages for this team. He'll be a perfect compliment for Alvin Kamara back there as well. You can split them out. Both of them fantastic wide receiver weapons. I mean, it's just, you could do a lot with Ty Montgomery if you get your imagination going, offensively speaking. Really interesting. But they say ultimately it proved fortunate when Alvin Kamara tested positive. We know about that, forcing everyone he was in contact with, all those other running backs and their coach, into temporary quarantine, except for Montgomery. Responded with his second career 100-yard. And this was a limited exposure. And he went in there and had 100+ yard rushing performance. And I was like, see, this guy could play. He managed to parlay the impressive spot start and another payday and more opportunities with the Saints. He'll join Kamara, Latavius, and second-year pro Tony Jones Jr. as the only running backs under contract. Now, Dwayne Washington and Michael Burton are both pending free agents, and I think ultimately the Saints would sign Michael Burton back. But the reality is there's Justin, I want to say Krusalak or whatever his name is, the 49ers fullback / H-back / tight end. That's the guy, if you're the Saints, you should try to go after. You need a versatile, and Burton's an old school type of fullback. You know what I mean? He's one of those ground and pound guys. But if you had a versatile weapon like Struselek or whatever his name is from the 49ers, you can plug that guy in there. He could play fullback. He could slide to tight end. He could do a lot. He fits that dynamic for the Saints of a multi-use player. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, I would love to see him as one of the guys. I ain't no thing about Burton. I didn't like Burton. I thought Burton wasn't all that good, but he fit well last year and did a pretty good job for the Saints. So I'm expecting them probably to sign Burton back on a cheap deal. But me personally, if I can get an upgrade, I would. I'm just keeping it real. Now, Dwayne Washington, those guys are pending. We'll see if they'll go. So that's the second article. Is the Saints restructure Cam them with the first one. And of course, the last one, this is the next one they get Ty Montgomery. Now let's go over this one here. This is coming from where's this from? Okay, Who Dat Dish, and this writer is Matt Bagley, says 5 dark horse quarterback targets New Orleans Saints should look at. Now, of course, you know, dark horse quarterbacks, you heard what brother TJ was saying that he likes Alex Smith. Brian Pearson and other family members said the same thing, that they like Alex Smith. I thought about it. I said, you know what? Alex Smith wouldn't be a bad choice, especially if you couldn't get Jameson, you were forced to go with Taysom. And I will be honest with you. I think if you put Taysom versus Alex Smith, Smith would probably win that job. And if you stand up there and protect him, Alex Smith can win games for you. I mean, that's been the thing. If you could protect Alex Smith in the pocket, he'll tear your ass up. He'll tell you he can't move around that much, but he is an accurate guy, smart guy, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He would definitely work in the system. But you're looking at like a Super Bowl thing, I just simply don't know. Big Sean, what's up, fam? He says, Q, next time Tasha asks the question, tell her it's none of you. All right, Big Sean, bro. You know, I can't, bro, I'm going to stay out of that, my brother, but I appreciate you. He said, none your next. All right, okay. All right, Sean. I got you. Appreciate you, bro. But, it ain't nothing wrong about it, bro. It's all right. Tasha wanted to know because I always have my cup. I always have my cup here. And this is just to let the family members know, but they always know, man. I talk a lot over here. Every now and again, I got to pause and take a swig. So I thank y'all for the super chats. Appreciate that, man. Y'all funny, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are hilarious, man. Y'all are hilarious. All right, let's get into this one. To keep the drive alive with the potential quarterbacks that could be under center for the Saints next season, we're going to pretend that Jameis Winston doesn't resign, which is a realistic possibility. Their available salary cap is normal, lower than low. And then in another article, he listed that the groups that the Saints are in, they aren't in the position to draft a high quarterback. They aren't in the position to sign a big name free agent. They're barely in position to trade for an option at quarterback. So this is under the assumption that Jameis Winston goes elsewhere. Then where do the Saints go with that move as well? So this is what the article says. We're not with not a ton going into Saints' favor. That means we're forced to stick with one of these dark horse quarterback options for the starting back quarterback options for next year. Okay, number one is he's looking at the fact that, okay, Trey Lance, he says most mock drafts have the quarterback from North Dakota State going somewhere inside the top 5 picks. The later, if you notice, if you watch Mel Kiper or Todd McShay's draft picks or any of these insiders picks on the quarterback position, they have 4 quarterbacks going in a row in some of these mock drafts, because the NFL knows that some of these quarterbacks coming out this year, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, guys like Zach, whatever his name, I forgot the man name. Y'all know Zach Taylor, I won't say his name, is the Penn State quarterback. And you got Trevor Lawrence. You got, other quarterbacks like Mac Jones out of Alabama. And then later on, that's who they consider the top 5 quarterbacks. Top 10, top 15, they have 5 quarterbacks going. And of course, if 5 quarterbacks come off the board within the top 10, top 15 picks, then that kind of pulls the second layer of quarterbacks into that round as well. And then you can see guys that would really go day 2 will go somewhere inside the top 1 because those quarterbacks are off the board. Now, with that being said, if you're a guy looking for a quarterback, that's not so much good news. We know the Saints, these quarterbacks, Mac Jones or Trey Lance, and some of these guys will not fall to them at 28. The Saints will have to go up and get them. I say the Saints don't move. You never know. I know what they're going to do, but odds are, in my opinion, they stay where they are and somebody falls to them. Now, if you're a quarterback guy looking for a quarterback team, looking for a quarterback prospect, that might not be good news for you if you want one of those guys. Now, what it does do is it sends more talented non-quarterbacks into your sphere of influence, meaning that offensive, that defensive end that you might be looking at, he might be close to you, that linebacker prospect, that wide receiver prospect, that tight end. Well, Pitts is the only really top first round draft pick type dude that I'll be looking at from out of Florida. But you might have other guys, safety, cornerbacks that'll fall to you at 28 that should be available inside the top 15. So that's the plus and minuses about this thing. But Trey Lance is a guy that they like, and they're saying Saints take Trey Lance. Trey Lance won't be available in my opinion, but what they're saying is, however, if you're Sims from CBS, he says you have Trey Lance as the number 6 best quarterback available in the draft. If that's the case, then the Saints have a better opportunity to either trade up to the mid-first round and get Lance, or see if they can fill out the field and see if he'll fall into the 28. That won't happen. After not playing in his freshman year, Lance completely broke out in his sophomore season. He tore it up. He threw for just over 2,700 yards, 28 touchdowns in 16 college games. He's also a mobile quarterback. In the same season, he ran for 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns. He has the possibility to be the best quarterback in the draft class, and he starts to fall. The Saints need to start the call to trade up. So he's looking at Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance won't be available. Next call that the writer has is Mitchell Trubisky. Now, I've often kept saying this, family, about Mitch Trubisky, is that for whatever reason, I keep getting, a connection. Zach Wilson, thank you, Professor PT504. Much love to you. Appreciate you. I keep getting Mitch Trubisky and the Saints connected spiritually. For whatever reason, it's the same feeling I get like, okay, fam, I kept telling fam, I keep saying Marcus Williams in a silver helmet for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, whether that's the Cowboys or the Lions. I kept seeing that connection there. And then that was before Matt Campbell left to take the job there, and he brought in his coordinator, which was Aaron Glenn, who was the secondary coach for the Saints, who mentored Marcus Williams. So that was before all that was happening. So will it fill out like that? We'll just have to wait and see. But I keep getting a similar connection with the Saints and Mitch Trubisky. And people say garbage time, Q, this Trubisky is terrible. He's near that. Well, we'll see. But I, for whatever reason, I just keep getting that. And we'll see. Most Saints fans will look at the name Trubisky and immediately want nothing to do with him. However, that would be wrong attitude to take. Trubisky was once a Pro Bowl quarterback and still has the potential in him. The Bears traded for former Super Bowl champion Nick Foles last offseason. The quarterback war that ensued between the two was something special to watch, but no one ever won with Nagy. Now they are looking for another quarterback. He never gave either one of them enough time to develop a rhythm and get into a swing. Trubisky has only been in the NFL for 4 years. Trubisky has only played for one team and still has most of his prime in NFL ahead of them. If no one else offers Trubisky a huge deal, the Saints might get him cheap. If that's the case, then they might have signed their dark horse quarterback and found a long-term quarterback. That's what makes Trubisky special here. He has the potential to be both, even if emphasized with Peyton's quarterback with his coaching staff. So, Mitchell Trubisky does fit that role, family. Like, remember we talked about Coach Peyton not so much having a history of taking draft pick quarterbacks. The last one that he took in his era was a 3rd round draft pick quarterback named Grayson. Y'all remember how that ended up? They spent the 3rd rounder on Grayson. He was absolutely terrible, absolutely horrible, absolutely terrible. And after that, you're seeing the Saints started going after veteran guys. They started going after veteran quarterbacks, reclamation project type quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Young quarterbacks in their prime that had several years of starting experience that ultimately end up on his team. Now, there are comparisons to Teddy Bridgewater and Jameis Winston with Mitchell Trubisky. Think about this. He's the same way. Jameis Winston was a high draft pick. So was Mitchell Trubisky. Trubisky has a lot of playing time with Chicago. So does Jameis Winston with Tampa Bay. And he's a reclamation project similar to Jameis Winston and Teddy Bridgewater. This is what Coach Payton does. He looks for quarterbacks that are reclamation projects that has experience, because he doesn't really prefer to want to deal with the learning curve that it comes with rookies versus with a quarterback with experience that still has the prime years ahead of it. Trubisky fits that mold. I'm not a fan of Mitchell Trubisky, but he is athletic. He does have a big arm. His issue is accuracy, which he did tend to improve just a bit. But does that change if Sean Payton can't land Jameis Winston? I'm telling you, they're going to look at Mitch Trubisky because he can scramble. He can throw the deep ball and he will work with him. And he's more, and if you think about it, Trubisky is a more developed form of Taysom Hill. Think about it. We're not talking about Taysom Hill, the athlete running around at different positions. I'm talking about from the quarterback perspective. Trubisky is the more developed version of what Taysom Hill is. Think about it. The fact that Trubisky has a larger palette in terms of throwing ability, he's further along than what Taysom Hill is. So why would I not think that? And plus, if you go back and listen to footage when Sean Payton, he likes Mitchell Trubisky. He compliments him and everything. So I'm just saying Trubisky could be a guy that might fall in your lap if you can't get Jameis Winston. So don't be surprised if you start hearing the Saints are talking to Mitchell Trubisky. And you'd be like, for what? I'm just letting you know. All right, let's move on to the third quarterback position, Marcus Mariota. Now, this is interesting because Mariota signed a contract. I think he's under contract right now. Let's get into the article. He says Marcus was a high draft pick coming out of University of Oregon. Now, consequently, remember when Jameis Winston, see, it's a parallels, Jameis Winston parallel. Remember when Jameis Winston came out first overall, Marcus Mariota was the guy that came out with him. They were both the top quarterbacks of that draft when Jameis came out. Well, Marcus Mariota's here. His issue is it's been injuries. He's never been able to stay healthy, but he does have he's a tall quarterback. He's accurate. He can make all the throws, but Mariota's problem is health. He can't stay healthy. If you can keep him upright, you might have something special. But Marcus Mariota was a high draft pick coming out of Oregon in 2015. The Tennessee Titans had high hopes for the Hawaiian native. However, the team was built around him, was never built to win a team, to never be a winning team. During his first 4 years, Mariota ended up 27-28, a very mediocre start to his career. However, in those years, he did throw for over 2,500 yards in each season and threw as high as 3,400 in one season. He also added 10 touchdowns per season as well. During his fifth and last season in Tennessee, he was replaced mid-season with Ryan Tannehill, and he never got another contract in Tennessee. Between a mounting injury history, a poor offensive line, and multiple coaching changes, things were never in Mariota's favor. That is very true. Last year, as a backup behind Carr in Raider country, we got to see a little of Mariota is still like. He started one game, threw 17 passes, 226 yards and touchdown, and he went 1-0. Does he still have starter quality play in him? That's the question. People have to believe in him. And the Raiders did give him a nice contract, and he could be somebody, if he's available, perhaps you look at. Now, I do like Marcus Mariota, but you have to keep him clean. If he stands up and you keep him clean and you give him a running game pass, this guy will tear you up. Now, the only thing they can ever say about Mariota is he can't stay healthy. And that's because offensive line has been shitty everywhere he's went. Could he be a positive for the Saints if you're looking in that favor? Think about it. These are just, what he calling dark horse quarterbacks, okay? And, of course, here go Tyrod Taylor right here. Tyrod Taylor's next. Tyrod Taylor, he says, Tyrod Taylor was named as the Chargers quarterbacks at the start of the year, regardless of them drafting Oregon quarterback Justin Herbert in the first round of the 2020 draft, similar to Fitzpatrick and Tagovailoa. After a pain injection that was misplaced by the doctors, Taylor ended up in the hospital with a punctured lung. Now, y'all remember the story. He was supposed to get a shot. He had broken ribs, and he got a shot. The guy misplaced it, and it pierced his lung. But he was playing with broken ribs, and he was supposed to give him a pain shot to alleviate that. It went wrong. Unfortunately, he missed that game, and he never retrieved the starting position. In the next game, Anthony Lynn announced that Herbert would be the starter for the remainder of the season, and some believe that was pressure from the ownership general manager position that was trying to force in Herbert and let his era start. It worked out well because Tyrod Taylor lost his job due to injury, which is something most coaches said that's not supposed to happen. Even Anthony Lynn, who also got fired, said that Tyrod Taylor would not lose his quarterback position due to injury. Goes to show you that sometimes the coach can get pressure from the top, and they went with the young guy, and it actually worked out. Herbert was spectacular, to be honest with you. Big quarterback, very smart. Future's bright for the Chargers, man. It really is. Now, I'll go back to Tyrod. Anthony Lynn announced that Herbert would be the starter for the remainder of the season. Tyrod spent the first part of his career with the Ravens and the Bills before spending 1 year in Cleveland and 2 in Los Angeles. During his 3 seasons in Buffalo from 2015 to 2017, Taylor threw almost 3,000 yards in every one of those seasons, along with 14 or more touchdowns. Those per statistics are good enough for the Saints to offer him a contract. This would not be a bad pickup, in my opinion. Tyrod Taylor is a guy that is productive. And once again, this is a situation where you're dealing with a quarterback who gets injured. But his value when he was in Buffalo, when he was in Baltimore, when he played in Cleveland, he brings a certain element to the quarterback position. He brings certain excitement, and he does win games, and he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's productive. The only issue as well, like Tyrod, that you can say about Marcus Mariota is that he does get hurt. And when he gets hurt, it hurt. It's not a good look. But if he's a backup and he's coming in here as a backup of somebody, that short term wouldn't be a bad move, and he wouldn't cost you a ton of money to do it. So Tyrod Taylor, in my opinion, is not a bad bet either. And of course, finally, according to the article, Blake Bortles is the final one. Blake Bortles is a very similar history to Marcus Mariota. He was a very high draft pick, but was placed on a team where he would not succeed. The Jacksonville Jaguars never really gave him weapons or protected him during his tenure there for the first 5 years of his career. Bortles started 10 games per season with the Jags. He threw for over 2,700 yards, highest being the 4,428 yards. He also added 35 touchdowns in that season as well. Now, Bortles has an interception problem, similar to Jameis Winston, because he was forced to rush the pass due to poor offensive line play. Because of that, Bortles might have been better with good weapons, good protection, and good coaching. Listen, every quarterback benefits for those things. So he was in a precariously bad situation. The black and gold are looking for the next player that's going to lead their team into battle. Drew held down the fourth for over a decade, and it's time for them changing the guard. One of these dark horse candidates might make quality starters in stretches. I'm not a Blake Bortles guy, but I do agree to a point that Bortles didn't have the type of offensive team that he needed in Jacksonville when they took him there. And of course, the inconsistency, the ridiculousness, the failure, everything that was going around, it's just terrible. But these are the 5 dark horse candidates there. Tyrod Taylor's interesting. Marcus Mariota's interested in this mixture that this writer covers as well. So it'll be interesting to see if the Saints can't get Jameis Winston. That's what the article's preferencing. If Jameis goes somewhere else, do the Saints then go and take one of these guys as a bridge quarterback until they find whoever they want to? You see what I'm saying? We'll see. Interesting. All right, now then let's go into the next article here, which is Saints had virtual interview with first round linebacker prospect Xavier Collins. We talked about Collins, a very, very productive player out of Tulsa, a guy, big linebacker. And some people see him as a tweener prospect, the guy that you can use to play linebacker, or put him as an end. He can line up, you stand up and rush. He can put his fingers in the grass and rush for you. So this prospect, Xavier Collins, might be an interesting tweener prospect for the Saints. Add another name to the still growing list of Saints pre-draft meetings. The reports, Draft Network's Justin Mello reports the Saints have Tulsa linebacker Xavier Collins on their radar, joining the long list of teams virtual interview of one of the year's top draft prospects. Other interesting teams include the Ravens, Packers, Titans, Seahawks, and that's those who have contacted Collins by early March. It's easy to see where he's earned so much attention. Collins is a rare athlete, moving like someone much lighter than his listed 6'4", 260-pound frame. He's got impressive ball skills, 4 interceptions in just 8 games last season, plus a pair of forced fumbles, fumble recovery. His best skill might be rushing the quarterback on blitzes, right? Using his size mismatch to swat aside running backs and pass protection. And he bagged 7.5 sacks in his Tulsa career, 25 tackles for loss. He's been a popular fit in most mock drafts, considering they only have one linebacker the black and gold can hang on their head on to, which is Demario Davis. But he can't do everything on his own. It's unclear whether Zach Bourne will be able to switch positions like the coaches have tasked him with. If Quan Alexander can rebound from the Achilles injuries, he's also an interesting prospect in the matrix, is Quan Alexander. Of course, we know Quan, eventually when he gets healthy, they'll restructure that deal, free up a lot of money there, and does then Quan Alexander take a cheap 1-year deal to come on with the Saints. Regardless of that, if you think about it, we talking about the linebacker position opposite of Demario Davis. But listen, we've been fortunate that Demario Davis has stayed healthy. What if Demario Davis, and I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but you got to plan for every inevitability. Let's say Demario Davis gets hurt. Then what do? You see what I'm saying? We're worrying about replacing the guy next to Demario Davis. How about Demario Davis himself? If Demario gets hurt, how do the Saints defense then cope then? You see what I'm saying? We have to anticipate such things. So this could be a possibility because a lot of the Who Dat Nation don't have confidence in Zach Bowen. They really don't. GM Kev, everybody. A lot of people telling me the same thing. You heard TJ just said that he don't, we need another person. And, he don't have too much faith in Zach Bowen either. And that might be the case. So we'll see how it shapes. But adding someone like Collins early in the draft will help some confidence in the shaky part of the defense. Remember his name in late April when the Saints go on the clock, which if they're at 28 and a 6'4", 260-pound linebacker who can drop into coverage or put his hand in the grass to go and get the quarterback, a tweener prospect like Collins, this would be interesting. I said that on the prior show. I said if they take a linebacker, it's going to be somebody they can use at the linebacker position, and then use the blitz in the NASCAR package. He could be a tweener prospect for the Saints to happen. So we'll see how it shakes going. Very interesting on Zach Collins. The only thing is he's there. If he's 28, that I would not be upset at you if you made that move. Here comes another article coming at the family members here. It says the NFL 2021 NFL free agency mock draft, Jameis Winston to the Bears, Aaron Jones to the Dolphins, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and this is the industry free agency mock draft. And this is what they're saying, that if, their take on certain players and where they're going to end up this year. So, we'll see how that shakes. But Jacksonville Jaguars, they got Chris Goodwin. You see the list right there. What's interesting here is this one I wanted to share with the family members, is that they got the Atlanta Falcons taking Trey Hendrickson. Just to let you know. Now, remember, if they saying it's the Atlanta Falcons, but really they changed their name. I don't know if a lot of the family members noticed that, but the Falcons have changed their name. It's now the Atlanta Saints. They changed the name. They stole the name of the dome. It was the Mercedes-Benz Dome. They took that name from us. Now they hired Fontenot, which was our general manager, and now Fontenot is working for them trying to build their team. So with that being said, you got Fontenot, who was an all Louisiana guy. I mean, come on. He went to school at Tulane. He started off, you couldn't get starting off no lower than where Fontenot started off. He started off basically sweeping the floors in the Saints building, and 18 years later, worked himself up to a position in the administration to the point where he ultimately, Atlanta came to the Saints and said, we can't beat y'all, so we might as well join y'all. So they picked Fontenot up, and then Fontenot is now over the team. So you have a New Orleans Saints man running your team to help you win. Boy, you can't get no lower than that. They are the Atlanta Saints. And of course, you see the Atlanta Saints taking Trey Hendrickson now. You talk about the double whammy. Atlanta knocks off its dire need for edge help and weakens a division rival in the process. Hendrickson still somewhat of a projection, but he has the makings of a Pro Bowler. We'll see. So you can see right there, Atlanta taking Trey Hendrickson. Why not? They took every damn body else that we was able to package. So why not take him too? Of course, you see other teams here as well. Juju Smith-Schuster, they saying he goes to Philadelphia in free agency. Leonard Williams, who they say goes to Detroit. He was popular. I wonder if the Saints can make a move on Leonard Williams. And Sean Payton was interested in trading for him years ago, but just lost it. Do you go after Leonard Williams to solidify? Just a lot of questions there. Carolina, Levante David, that'll be interesting. Denver with Bud Dupree coming off an injury, and you got stuff dealing with Von Miller, but you will see. Cowboys with Shaq Griffin. The Giants, Will Fuller. You look at Joe Tunney, who the Saints was trying to get before they signed Andrews Pete, but he went off the board and re-signed back to New England, and the Saints went back to Andrews Pete on the fight on that contract. Tunney ends up with the Chargers, according to these folk. And then, of course, if you keep trending down here, you get to, let's see where they go down here. This is the one right here. You see Chicago going after Jameis Winston. Their thing is with no sure path to the top rookie QB and a veteran trade market unpredictable, Chicago Bulls pulled the trigger on former #1 pick with hopes that Winston's big arm can breathe new life into an otherwise sputtering offense. Now, the Chicago Bears are definitely a team that pose a risk, because if they can't get Deshaun Watson, who reports are saying that they're swinging for the fences on Deshaun Watson, but if they can't land the quarterback they believe in, they have to give up a ton of resources to get. Jameis Winston becomes the guy that comes off the board after that. So that's, you got these quarterback hungry people like Denver. Denver came out and realized that they said they're a player for Jameis as well, and they don't have any faith in Drew Lock. So they're looking for a quarterback opposite of Drew Lock. They feel like we need to move this thing ahead. So, remember Elway went further up in the organization and another guy took over the GM position. This guy obviously is not a fan of Drew Lock, so he don't have the game on lock. So really we need to rename Drew Lock Drew Unlocked, because he don't have the quarterback position on lock anymore. So Denver, Chicago, and guys like that are interested in Jameis Winston simply because they won't have to spend a ton of resources to acquire a guy like Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, even Aaron Rodgers. They could say, listen, we couldn't get him. What they were asking was ridiculous. We'll go with Jameis. And then we'll still have the draft picks to be able to then build even better and have some more money where we can be able to spend and put some targets around them and make a respectable team. So Jameis Winston is there as well. So with all that being said, who did they have? The Saints, who picks 28. They got the Saints taking Fitzpatrick. That's right. Fitzmagic is going to be your quarterback. It says, rob the Jameis Winston early in the draft. Saints pivot to seize the ageless Fitzpatrick, who obviously is no more than a short-term play, but gives them a fighting chance of contending in 2021. Of course, you still have Taysom Hill on the team. Fitzpatrick comes in as a backup behind Taysom if you can't retrieve Jameis Winston, or if you can't trade assets to acquire Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, if he's up for that, or Russell Wilson, or Sam Darnold, or any other quarterback that then becomes available via trade. Or if the Saints don't like what they see in the draft at the QB position. So this is a few things I wanted to go over with the family members. Very interesting article from CBS, man, going over the draft, as you can see. All right, and of course, let's move into the final story right here, which is from sporttrack.com. This is the 2021 salary cap moments here. I know that. What's up, Dedrick? Who that to you? Anthony, who that to you? Oh, Cooler, Sat, Scott, all the family members. Appreciate y'all being here in the chat. Much love, fams. What's up, Clean Hands? Big ups to Clean Hands and the rest of the family members chiming in on this thing. Much love. Hayabusa 14, good to see you. Roderick, what's up, fam? Who that to you? Space Ghost, who that to you as well? All right, big ups to all the family members in the live stream, man. I'm running my mouth. I'm just giving y'all guys a shout out. J-Rock, what's up, fam? Big ups to you, all the family members. Who that to you guys? Thank y'all for being here. All right, now this is the final article I'm gonna go over with the family members in this one. Now, this is, pretty much showing them at point where we are right now in terms of what they're doing. As you can see right here, this number right here, family. Let me see if I can kind of slide that over a bit. Now, as you can see, this number right here, it's estimated where the Saints are currently after all the restructurings. Now, I'm going to reference this from time to time to give you a visual record, not just telling you, but actually showing you visually, which is, they said, that old saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words, or rather 1,000,000 words, to be honest with you. But minus 43 is where the Saints are right now. Seth Scott said, what's up, Q? Much love, bro. When we're going to kick off the first annual Sports Coma barbecue. We're going to see about it, bro. It's still a lot of restrictions going on right now. Hopefully we'll follow the leads of places like Texas and Mississippi as they're knocking off a lot of these restrictions. Some of the, some safety measures. You can't, and I don't want to get into a big spiel because people feel differently about this. People's thought processes are here and here. And I'm not trying to separate the people on thought process as well. But, it just depends on the local states, what we're doing. But bear in mind that I'm definitely looking at having the Sports Coma barbecue or in a place where the family members can get together and we do a live show, a meet and greet. Everybody comes out, get some food, and we do a live show in front of family members and have the mic passed around for questions and stuff like that. And we'll have me and Black Suede on the panel, Kamazi, and a few other people we'll invite to come in there. So that'll be something. And we'll also film it and everything and catch a hold to it. So trust and believe we're working on that. It's just right now with all the restrictions and stuff that's going on, we have to be mindful of that. And maybe they peel off or they become so less restrictive that we could be able to do stuff like that. Of course, we're going to take the necessary precautions, but at the same time, man, we got to make sure that we do it right. So that's something we're looking at. So thanks for answering that question, my friend. 43.9 currently is where the Saints are located, man. Okay. I'm gonna explain that, Clean Hands. Like he said, can you explain how and what the June 1 cap hits works? I will. I'm gonna get to that, fam. On the cap works. Now listen, $43.9 million right now as it stands, right? That's where we are currently. And that's the top 51 contracts. That's how this thing works. They don't count every contract, just the top 51. And with that being said, according to those top 51 contracts, the Saints are now minus 43.9 under I guess you could say under over the cap would be more of an accurate recommendation. Now, if you look at the players that's on screen right here, get Mike Thomas, Taron Armstead, Taysom Hill, Jack Rabbit Jenkins, and you'll see the rest of these guys. The rest of these guys are the last ones that have not right now been touched. So look according to the next couple of days going into March the 17th, when it's required by the NFL to then buckle down and say, listen, you guys got to the 17th of March to be able to get up underneath or, get up over, get underneath the recommended amount of talent that you need to get up under that so you be legal. And the Saints are one of those teams that have to be able to do that. And like I said, with that being said, Michael Thomas is another guy that's facing, as you can see where his cap hit situation is. And you can see the dead money, which he has, the restructuring of what they got to do to kind of clear up some of that money. So you got Mike next, you got Teron Armstead next, so, you look at his money. These guys are the next guys, fam, to be able to, you're going to have to look at about getting that money cut down or going down low. All right. That's the next thing we got to look at. So Mike Thomas, Teron Armstead, does Taysom Hill. I don't know if he's a guy that you could restructure, to get down because he's in the last year of his deal. But I guess anything you can work out, it depends on how the money will fall. But, it's like, okay, you can't really work out, Malcolm Brown's deal, because there's nowhere to push that money to. So either you extend them or trade them to get them of the books and take that hit. And then, of course, you free up the extra money necessarily needed. That's why they're looking at trying to trade them as opposed to release them. But ultimately, if you can't find a proper deal, you're going to end up cutting them anyway. And it's the same thing that applies, because Mike Thomas has to be restructured. Teron Armstead, is he then not a trade candidate as well? And I keep saying about Teron Armstead that you got to look at Teron Armstead and says, yes, we might have to look at trading him as well or simply restructuring him or whatnot. But I say if Drew Brees is not on the team, we need to look at either trading or releasing Teron Armstead and starting at that position again. That's just my take on it. Now, outside of that, you see Janoris Jack Rabbit Jenkins, who's at $14.2 million in the cap hit, dead money at 11.1. So you would have to restructure or extend out Janoris Jenkins' contract, whether that's a 2 or 3 year deal. Bear in mind that Janoris, I think he's 31. I want to say he's 31 years of age. So you don't want to go too far into that, but he had a spectacular season last year for the black and gold. And I would recommend and say to you that he actually played pretty damn well. He was probably our best cornerback, if you ask me, in terms of who played what and how, So with that being said, man, listen, this is a lot, man. This is going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. Like I told you before, and we did this before, where we went and did the whole situation, and I managed the roster, and I did it several shows over. And I'm just going to keep it real with you. It took me 19 transactions to pull this team up underneath where it needed to be so we don't be fined by nothing. I'm just going to keep it real. These are the next guys on the line. Thomas, Armstead, I don't know about Hill. Jack Rabbit needs to be extended. Quan, you cannot restructure Quan Alexander's deal until he is healthy. Okay, so it's certain ramifications. You just can't restructure everybody's deal. Now I researched like, okay, the Saints, what's the tidbit on him? The Drew Brees situation, you can't release him until a certain period of time. You can't restructure Quan Alexander's deal until he's healthy. Then you can restructure. You can't do it while he's hurt, according to the information that I researched. And those are two of the players that have those kind of weird restructurings that I want to talk about. But the rest of them, you can work them on through. So don't be surprised to see if the Saints, and I don't know exactly where Quan Alexander is in terms of his health, because remember, he was shut down. When did he get hurt? he was shut down. I think it was the game before, wasn't it the game before this Christmas Day game? I forget what it was. I think it was he got hurt the game before the Christmas Day game, I wanted to say. So I don't know where he is right now in terms of his development. If you would list him as healthy enough to be eligible enough to be then restructured the team, then they would have to take him off of whatever, you see what I'm saying? It's certain litigious things that have to happen with Quan Alexander. We know about Drew Brees' restructuring already. Andrews Pete, you're absolutely right. Somebody put Andrews Pete in there. Andrews Pete's another guy that has to be restructured as well. He's on there. Ryan Ramczyk and Lattimore need to not only, I wouldn't say restructure, they deals, they need to be extended. Their deals need to be signed to extensions. And then that'll free up the money where Mickey Loomis would then say, okay, your base salary is $1 million or $2 million or whatever, and then have the step pyramid increase, like it increases over time. And then on the back end of the contract, it's a big sum of money or whatnot. That's how Mickey Loomis usually does it. He got to push that money somewhere. Usually and traditionally, Mickey Mouse pushes it toward the last year of the deal. So, and then when we get to that point, either he restructured it the year before and extends it again, or ultimately the Saints look to then trade that player based upon what happens. And then also Mickey Mouse then puts a opt-out in there like he did for Alvin Kamara. A lot of people don't know it's an opt-out. Right before Kamara gets that big chunk of change, the Saints can opt out of the deal and then opt out of the contract and pay him a certain amount to get from up under the deal. So Mickey does put little ramifications like that in the contracts to protect the team, which is intelligent, really smart dude. And of course, like you reduce Ryan Ramczyk, who's $11 million right now. You look at Marshawn Lattimore's $2.2 million right now. You extend those guys, you can save, man, $18 million, anywhere between, I don't know, 15 to 18 million just on two contracts with Marshawn Lattimore and Ryan Ramczyk. So that's nothing. Emmanuel Sanders sitting up there at $6 million in base salary this year, 10.5 on the cap hit, $4 million cap, dead cap figure. Emmanuel Sanders in the last year of his deal, the Saints, if they're clearing out, does Emmanuel Sanders get the axe? He's the next one. So the Saints, like I said, $4.9 million is what's left. Can they free up $43 million between Mike Thomas, Armstead, Janoris Jenkins, Andrews Pete, Ryan Ramczyk, Emmanuel Sanders, and Marshawn Lattimore? You damn right. You damn right. You damn right that they can recap. They can figure that out again. They can free up $43 million with Mike Thomas, Armstead, Jack Rabbit Jenkins, eventually Quan Alexander when they get to it, Andrews Pete, Ryan Ramczyk, Marshawn Lattimore, and Emmanuel Sanders. And then, of course, we throw some other players they might get to the restructure. Yes, indeed, they can. And that will be able to free them up. So, we'll see how it looks at the end of the day, because he was able to shave $13 million just between two contracts of Demario Davis and Cam Jordan. So the Saints, man, in the next 6 or 7 moves, if we accurate on that, they could free up some major money right here. And a big chunk of it with the extensions of Lattimore and Ramczyk is that's what you want to do. So it's good to just show the family members what we working with right here. And of course, once Malcolm Brown deal gets done, that'll free up even more money for the Saints. So over the next 5 or 6 moves, the Saints can actually be able to free up enough money to be able to do that thing. So with that being said, man, we're going to bounce around and do a synopsis right quick. $13 million in cap space through restructures. We covered that deal as the Saints saved $13 million right there. With that move, we also talked about the 1-year contract extension with Ty Montgomery. We also talked about the 5 dog-horse quarterback prospects from this article. We covered the Saints had a virtual interview with first-round linebacker prospect Xavier Collins. We also talked about the free agency, where the experts think some of the players might be going into the year. And we also talked about, that's free agents, that's why, and we also showed the family members from a economic standpoint where the team is currently at $4.9 million right now, and that if they can open up and restructure Mike, Teron Armstead, Jack Rabbit Jenkins, Quan Alexander, eventually Andrews Pete, Ryan Ramczyk, Emmanuel Sanders, and Marshawn Lattimore, that they can actually free up the $43 million to be able to do something. Not to mention there are other players there. The trading, if they could successfully trade or release Malcolm Brown, the interior nose tackle there, and what we'll be dealing with. And also don't forget that Patrick Robinson's another dude sitting there that we can get the hell up out of here. So don't forget about Patrick Robinson either, that we can get him on up out of here. So really the next 5 to 6 year moves, the Saints could be a plus cap team eventually. And this will be one of the greatest maneuverings that I've ever seen an NFL team do, to come $80 million from up under the cap and then eventually clear up all that money and goes. But what do the team look like after that? Do you get rid of Armstead? Do you get rid of certain people? Do the Saints feel good to extend out Marshawn Lattimore? It just all depends, man. It all depends. So with that being said, we're gonna bounce back to the mainstream. We covered a lot today in this one, man. And we're gonna go over that. A conversation that it says will be different come 18th. That's when you'll see Jameis as a starter. Drew announcements of green pasture. That could very well happen. To re-sign Kwan will cost $6 million, to extend them $16 million. I don't think they extend them out. Maybe they're gonna, once he's healthy, renegotiate that deal, pull that money down, and if he wants to be here, the Saints will issue him out like a cheap 1 year prove it deal to kind of get get from up under that thing, because that wouldn't be smart for them to take that kind of contract. The Saints will not do that. That was a move for a Super Bowl or bust move. It just so happens that it didn't work in our favor. Thank you for that. Dedrick says, "Who that nation? We might as well just go ahead and rebuild. No money and not enough draft picks. It's over. It was fun while it lasts." Dedrick says, "No, you can never say that, bro, about the Saints. To be honest with you, brother Dedrick, Saints are if anything, they're very resourceful. If anything, they're very resourceful. And anytime you got to kick the can, imaginative cap guy like Mickey Loomis and the rest of those guys, they're going to make stuff happen. Trust and believe. They'll renegotiate contracts. Like I said, think about it like this. If you renegotiate, or not renegotiate, that's the wrong term. If you extend out the contracts of Lattimore and Ryan Ramczyk right now, both of those guys count for over $20 million against the current cap. If you extend out and then recreate that 2021 figure between the two at roughly between $2 to $3 million, you save $15 million on that move for this year. See, it's all about creating the necessary money this year. And the Saints will then, of course, kick the can again, but this is a reset moment. Their philosophy will not change insofar as we're not going to kick the can anymore when it's been working. The Saints is simply restructure, or not restructure, but extend out those young players and free up that $15 million right there to go back into the cap. In 5 or 6 moves, they do this right. The Saints could be anywhere. Like when I did my simulation, I was 15 plus million over the cap after I got through with restructurings, releasings, and all that kind of stuff. I was able to free up 15 to 18 plus million dollars in cap money to be able to then go. And then with that kind of money, the Saints could make moves similar to what they did several years ago when the Saints only had $14 to $15 million in cap spending money, and that was when they signed Malcolm Brown, Latavius Murray, Mario Edwards Jr., Nick Easton, Marcus Shrells, whatever you want to pronounce his name. Remember that? The Latavius Murray signing year when we picked up Latavius, Easton, Brown, Mario Edwards Jr., Jared Cook. Remember that year? Jared Cook was there too. People were saying, Q, we don't have enough money, but the Saints pulled that okadoke over and signed all those people, and they had serious roles for the Saints on that team. So if you can get off the 10, 15 million, why can't they do that again? The Saints are going to land some people. Just think about that for a second. They're already at 43.6, I want to say, or whatever it is. So just think about that. Give me a second here, fam. Something just popped in my head. Give me just a second here. Something just popped in my head. I wanted to. Give me just a second. Stuff just be popping in my head. I just want to check something out right quick. Okay. All right. Anyway, listen, I'm sorry. I just had to check. Something popped in my head. I just had to do some quick research right quick on the Saints. But all right, now to finish that. But thank you, Dedrick, on that. I would never put them down and said that it's over with. It's never over as long as Mickey Loomis is in there wheeling and dealing. Let me tell you something. It's never over. They're going to compete. All right, we didn't have the money. Now, listen, it's like borrowing money from the bank, GM Kev. Yeah, yeah. He said, "I told you, Q, we didn't have the money." I know you said that then in that season with Latavius when we got Latavius money and all that, Murray. And the only reason why it appears like you don't have the money now is because of the C-19 stuff. They would still be kicking the can. They will still be. The only difference is kicking the can works for the Saints as opposed to some teams that don't know how to do it. The Saints kick the can well because they hit on the undrafted guys that are cheap that become solid role players. JT Gray, Deontay Harris, Marquez Callaway, Malcolm Roach, Shy Tuttle. Do I need to keep going on and on? They hit on those undrafted guys. They haven't been drafting as well as they were early on, but the undrafted guys absorb a lot of the imperfections of the draft aspect of it when the Saints be hitting. Like in case in point, in 2018 when we took Davenport with 2 first-round draft picks, you look at that draft was largely a bust draft right after the 2017 draft. But we don't look at it like that because a lot of the focus, the Saints are doing a great job in pulling in undrafted guys, and these guys are coming here and they're performing at a high level, and it's not costing the Saints a lot of money to bring those type of guys onto the team. So they're excelling in the undrafted market, where if we fail, and it braces, it creates like a brace for draft picks when we fail in the draft market. We drafting guys and it don't work out. And how would you explain the draft when we took your boy out of Florida State? I can't remember the man name. The offensive lineman he was a defensive lineman. The Saints drafted him out of Florida State. I can't think of the man name right now. He was a 4th-round draft pick. Saints took him. They also took 2 defensive backs and back-to-back. They took a 5th-round, 6th-round guy, Kareem Moore, Jameson, Natrell Jamerson, and all three of those guys were cut the same year. How do you think the Saints got away with wasting picks on 3 picks? They could have practice squatted those guys. Why? Because if you look at the undrafted market, a lot of the undrafted guys outperform the drafted guys, which you don't see that happens all the time. Rick Leonard, thank you, Kevin. There you go. GM Kev got it. Rick Leonard was the guy he was a 4th-round draft pick. The Saints cut him the same year. Cameron Moore was a cornerback. Natrell Jamerson was another guy that was a cornerback. They try to play these men at different positions, except for Rick Leonard. It just didn't work. But you could have practice squatted those men. Saints just cut them, got rid of them. They ain't try to practice squad them. Why? Because if you go and look at the undrafted guys that year, they were outperforming the drafted guys. So the Saints doing a good job in bringing in the draft talent. We have to be able to do both, have a solid draft as well as to have a good undrafted signing period as well. And that's what's really been helping the team. And we've been making some pretty smart choices in free agency, picking up guys like Demario Davis and all these kind of old guys. You see what I'm saying? So that's a lot to be said. So who that to the rest of the family members? Thank you, Kevin, for throwing that in there. I can't seem to remember the man's name. I keep forgetting his name, man. It's really crazy. But anyway, the reality at the end of the day is the NFL post-June 1st cuts explanation here. Now, to try to explain it to me, I had to, I decided just to get an article to try to explain it that way. But I'm going to put it on screen for some of the family members so they can understand what it means, because a lot of people say, Q, we need to cut the players now. But sometimes, like some players, you can't cut them straight away, because if you have to wait to a certain area of time for you to then release them, because you didn't get more money versus if you would just release them prior to these cuts. That's why it's like, okay, we were going to release this player prior to this date. If you wait after this date to release said player, you will have to pay him a certain amount because his contract becomes guaranteed. So NFL teams are cognizant of such things, and they realize, okay, we could save $7 million if we release this player prior to this date versus releasing them after this date. You see what I'm saying? It's just how it's written into the CBA and to the capnomics and to the contracts that, okay, contracts become guaranteed at this point. And if we release them prior to this point, we save $7 million, 5-3, or whatever it may be. So let me introduce you to what they call the explanation, which is a pretty good article I'll reference from time. They explain the NFL post-June cuts explanation. So just give me just a second. I'm going to share my screen for the family members so we can do it. And I think this is the best way to explain it, as opposed to me just kind of going over it and trying to explain. But that was the explanation that I give, is that if you didn't you didn't term to try to release players at a certain point, this is what happens. Now, let's look into it. This is from profootballrumors.com. They had a pretty good article they did last year to explain this, but actually they re-upped it this year, just February the 10th, to explain exactly what the June cuts mean for the family members that want to know. Let's expound on that. NFL teams will often use contract bonuses as a way to spread out a cap hit that might otherwise be exorbitant. For example, if a player's 4-year deal includes $8 million signing bonus, that money can be paid immediately, but spread out over 4 years for cap purposes. The Saints, among other teams, do this very well. This way, the cap charge for the bonus of $2 million per year to the cap purposes rather than $8 million in year one. Okay, let me read that again. For example, if a player, let me highlight it too. If a player's 4-year deal includes an $8 million signing bonus, that money can be paid immediately, but spread out over 4 years for cap purposes. Good point about it is Alvin Kamara's contract. Let me then preference that too with this article, and let's go into Alvin Kamara's deal, because I've often explained this on TSC Q&A Live, which is our Tuesday Patreon show, where we do this type of stuff. We actually get economic and cap-wise and start looking at these players' contracts. In the show like the Sports Coma, I cover so much, it's hard for me to specifically delve into what these contracts look like, because I'll be trying to explain to people that it's more than what you see on the field. Even though I studied the film, I also studied the economics. It gives me a broader view. Now, what I have on screen right now, this is Alvin Kamara's current contract. If you guys don't know or not aware of it, some of you are, some of you aren't, but let's get on the same page, shall we? Now, Alvin Kamara signed a 5-year deal worth $75 million, right? New Orleans Saints include the $15 million signing bonus, right? 33.8 is guaranteed of that 75 million at an average of 15 million a season. In 2021, Kamara will earn a base salary of just 2 million while carrying a hit of 5 million and a dead money cap value of 29.5. Now let's look into his contract. Last year when he signed the deal, it was just over $800,000. The signing bonus was 3.2. Now listen, like the article just referenced right here, is that you can pay out that money immediately. And if in case of Alvin Kamara, the signing bonus was 15 million. But notice the contract under here is the signing bonus is dispersed out over the period of the contract, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. The signing bonus money just assigned to the contract. It's an incentive to sign the contract. Listen, I'll give you $15 million if you sign this contract right now. It's for you to put your John Hancock on the paper. And they said 15 million for that. That's right. Sometimes people say he go all your 15 million up front. For the Saints, didn't work it like that. Notice that they broke it down in 5-year increments. You got 3.2. This year he gets 3 million. Next year, 3 million. 2023, 3 million. And then in 2024, 3 million. All right. We on page with that. So either immediately or spread out over 4 years or more. This way, the cap charge for the signing bonus amounts to just $2 million per year for cap purposes rather than $8 million in year one. You get that? It's about saving money and adding money back to the team. Now, let's get back into the rest of the article right here. There's an obvious benefit to kicking the can down the road, but it can also hurt teams if they want to terminate that deal. If a team in the above scenario wanted to release the player in year 2 of his contract, it will still have to account for the remaining prorated bonus money. Rather than counting against the cap of the $2 million year for 2 years, that dead money accelerates and applies to the cap for the league year in which the player is released. In other words, the remaining $4 million in prorated bonuses immediately counts against the cap, which means that if you cut them prior to the agreement, all that money that was set there that you had spanned out over them years, you can't then say, okay, we're going to keep expanding that out for you because you ain't on the team. No, that's a incentive for the team to think about not releasing that player because of the contract ramifications, economically speaking. You see, you can't then not keep that savings over the years if the player is then cut. You cut the player, all that money is due exponentially right at that point, immediately. Although these rules apply to many cuts, A different set of rules is in place for players released in June 1st. In this case, now, as far as the cuts in June 1st, the team can spread the cap hit across 2 seasons rather than one for the current season. Now, the prorated bonus figure stays at its original amount, with the remaining bonus balance accelerating onto the following season, referring again to the above scenario, right? That means that the player would count against the cap for $2 million in the league year in which he was cut, with the remaining 4 applying to the following league year. Okay. Now the guidelines for the pre-June 1st and the June 1st cuts are straightforward. And how are they? Let's go over it. Things becoming a little bit more complicated when they have to take into account that teams are allowed to designate up to 2 players as June 1st cuts. 2 players. Even if those players already released before June, last offseason, we saw a handful of players designated as June 1st cuts, including cornerback Tremaine Johnson from the Jets and Ty Gurley of the Rams. In case of Johnson, the Jets were initially slated, and these are good case points too. At least initially slated to pay him $11 million in base salary for 2020, right? Under typical circumstances, the release would have left Gang Green with a $12 million dead cap hit, right? A dead cap money obligation. However, the post-June 1st designation unlocked the $11 million in cap space, with just $4 million in dead money for the upcoming year. They'll pay the remaining $8 million. So you look at it like this. They were slated to play the $11 million in 20 under them circumstances. The June 1st release with Gang Green, that's $12 million in dead money obligation for the June 1st destination, unlocked the $11 million in space. And then that's the $4 million in dead money from the previous year. And then that remaining between that 4 and that 11 gives them the $8 million charge. Now, by June, most of the big name free agents are off the board, but cutting a player in the spring and designating them a post-June cut can mutually be beneficial for both players and the team to get to hit the market, while potential suitors will still have cap room and vacancies. Now, the team, meanwhile, gets to spread out that cap charge without having to actually wait until the first to release them. Otherwise, waiting until the point usually means paying roster or workout bonuses in the interim. That's phased into the contracts of the deal. Now, looking at the Alvin Kamara deal, we talked about the expansion of the salary, or paying his signing bonus over predetermined years, whether he's on there or not. Now, of course, if he gets released, if they release Alvin Kamara, of course, they got to come up off that money. And you can see throughout the numbers of his deal, you can see the cap hit, the dead money, all that's here to kind of like, okay, that helps the team say, we're not going to release or cut Alvin Kamara because it account 33 million, 29 million, 24 million, and all this kind of stuff up against the cap, right? But notice this, and look, and I'm just astute, but look at the year 2023, right? Look at the year 2023, right? Kamara turns 28 that year. And bear in mind, if you weren't familiar with Kamara's contract, look at the potential out the Saints set for themselves in 2024, right? If the Saints opt out of Kamara, they would end up having to pay him just $4 million, right? At 4, they would have paid him 4 years at $4.3 million and only acquired a $3 million dead hit on the cap. Look at this. This is where I believe the Saints get rid of Alvin Kamara if they don't restructure him, right? 4 years shelf life for a running back. You think they're going to keep him for long? When his contract spiked from 9.4 to 2.2, and then in 2025, it shoots up to 22.4 million? Really? If they opt out on Kamara after a couple years from now, they will only have to commit it to him 4 years at 40 million, which pretty much makes him play right now currently for just over 10 million a year. The Saints would have played. Now they would owe him that signing bonus, right? Which is at that point would just be 3 million from 2024. They would owe him, but it'll be a dead cap hit of just 6 million down from the 24.5 the previous year. Think about this. This is making lumens. This is making lumens. And remember, the contract jumps to a point, and then you can't opt out after that opt-out clause is not executed for 2014. So if the Saints want to get from under Alvin Kamara in several years from now, they can do it in 2023. Think about this. Look at the money. Look at the money, 9.4 on the base salary, 3 million signing bonus, 15.5 roster bonus, which means if he's doing what he got to do. In 2022, he gets 6 million just for being on the roster. In 2023, he gets 1.5 just for being on the roster. In 2023, if he works out, he get 100 G's just for working out with the team when they say work out. Now he does have a $14 million cap hit, but the dead money is 6 million on the hit. So, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm saying, if you look at the numbers of how things are designated, I hope I cleared up stuff with that June 1st cap hits, because teams look at it and say, okay, post June first cuts help the team, because what it does do is it relinquished the team for owing the money extra bonuses, whether they be workout bonuses and stuff like that I'm referencing from Alvin Kamara, whether they be roster bonuses or workout bonuses and all this kind of stuff. Now, this is indicative to certain contracts that the team feel like that they can do better than, or they might have overpaid a player for versus the production that the player provided for him within the length of the contract. So if you have a guy like Ty Gurley or Tremaine Johnson, they might feel like they're not getting the value they're supposed to. If you're paying that guy, Tremaine Johnson, the kind of money that they were paying, and you expect the guy to have 7-8 interceptions. But if he comes out there and he only has 2 interceptions and he plays half the season, then the team will look at get from up under that contract, because they're not paying. They feel like they're not getting the value for the money versus the production that the player is then giving them. You see what I'm saying? So with that being said, this is just one of the deals. But this particular, I like using the Alvin Kamara contract just to show the family members that, it's economic at first. It's production. It's all new. It's all number generated. If you're not producing from a production standpoint on the field, then from a number standpoint contract, they got to mirror each other. And thus it works back and forth, because a player might feel like that they're overperforming their contract and that they need to bring the contract up to par. Like what happened with Mike Thomas, what happened to Alvin Kamara, when they outplayed their rookie value and they feel like, okay, it's now my production has to mirror my money. And then they have to get in line and make that match. So, it's just showing you. Now, remember this example that I'm showing, because this is very important. Saints have an opt-out on Kamara after 2023. If they opt out of Kamara 2024, right, they opt out before the 2024 season. That means that the Saints were on the hook for 4 years at $40.3 million on Alvin Kamara. So roughly, if the Saints opt out of his contract after 2023, the only thing they paid Alvin Kamara was $10 million a year over the last 4 years. Now, you tell me that ain't a bargain. We were looking at Christian McCaffrey making north of 15 something. What are you making? 18 million, north of 18 million a year. The Saints get from under Kamara in 4 years. They would have only paid him 10 million a year. This is a splendid contract. How Mickey Loomis was able to put this together. I mean, think about that. You paying Kamara 10 million a year, as great of a player as he is on the field. You're paying him 10 million a year. If they opt out after the 4th year of his contract, as his deal is, they got to opt out there. Mickey put that there. They know Kamara is going to be excellent, but they always realize, listen, monetarily speaking, he'll be 29 years old then. We've gotten the best years out of him by that time. He's been here for what? By that time, he's been 8 years in. They're going to opt out of that. I'm telling you, watch. I'm just using that as an example, man. We're going to bounce back. But I like to show family members that from time to time, just to show y'all, man. Like, absolutely, man. I'm showing y'all contracts, man. This ain't hyperbole. This ain't me sitting up here well-wishing and all. I'm showing you what's in the contracts these people are putting together out here. So I hope I explained to whichever family members about the June 1st cuts and how it helps the teams get from other players they feel like they might have overpaid for, because teams make bad monetary decisions already, or they miss. It's like the stock market. They might pick up on the stock. The stock don't do as well as they anticipated to do. They got a certain time frame that they'll stay with that stock, and then they see they trending going down. Like, you know what? Let's sell this stock, get from up under it, and go somewhere else. It's the same thing with some of the players, because there is no crystal ball where you can look into to say, okay, in 4 years from now, this player would have lived up to the benefit. From a team standpoint, we think that we paid this player fairly to be on the team. He overproduced the contract, what have you. It's hard to foresee that. So with that being said, I hope that sprinkle that guy on some game. I hope y'all that helped y'all and clear some bugs right there. All right, big ups to the rest of the family members chiming in this thing. I appreciate y'all being with me on this Sunday, man. Appreciate y'all as well. Clean hands, big ups to you. But yeah, that's the terrific thing about doing it. That's what we do here. The Sports Coma, we love breaking that down, talk about them contracts, monetary, because a lot of people didn't know that about Elvin Kamara's deal, that he had an opt out in the fourth year of his deal. And I would say that, like, do you know the Saints have an opt out on Kamara when he turns 28? And usually that's the age when NFL teams say, no mas, let's find somebody else to head the team. And truth be told, they would have gotten all the best years out of Elvin Kamara by the time he turned 28 years old. And then it's just, I was like, man, Mickey Loomis, man. Mickey Mouse Loomis, man. This dude is a freaking genius, man. I mean, he gave Kamara, and Kamara running around here like he signed a deal that was similar to Christian McCaffrey. And I'm thinking to myself, I looked over that contract, I said, bro, McCaffrey's numbers, you know what? Let me do this. Let me put up McCaffrey's numbers here and see what I'm saying, because I think about stuff. That's why I paused the show a few minutes ago and say, hold on here. Let's look at this stuff in here. But, let me pull up Christian McCaffrey's numbers. Let me show y'all what the monetary aspect of what I be talking about. Because you look at a guy, my goodness, like what the Carolina Panthers are paying Christian McCaffrey, and you would think the way Kamara was moving, it's more than what he was making initially. And he should be happy about that. But in preference, it started out with him being compared to Christian McCaffrey's contract. But when you think about it, you look at McCaffrey's contract, what Carolina dished him and doled out to him, it's not quite the same, It's not quite the same, and they do have an opt-out on McCaffrey's contract too. Very interesting, man. Because Christian McCaffrey makes $8 million this year. And win a year, he's going to make $8 million base salary. Kamara's going to be 10. 4.3 on the signing bonus. He also extended out his money. 4.3, same deal, right? Over 5 years. In 2021, McCaffrey goes to 8.4 from 8 million. And right before he goes double digits, because it leaps from 8.4 to 11, there's also an opt-out for Carolina after that year, after 3 years. Most interesting. Very interesting. Very smart movements right here, man. Very smart movements here by these general managers, man. They jumping around, and the truth be told, and you know what, in a weird way, if you look at what they did with Christian McCaffrey's contract, which was a 4-year deal at $64 million, right? They got to opt out on McCaffrey after the 3rd year. And if Carolina cuts bait and run on McCaffrey, they would only have paid him 3 years at $40 million. It'd actually be a little less, 39, whatever it is. They got to opt out on McCaffrey after the 3rd year, family. I opt out, and they would have paid him 39.1 after the 3rd year before his numbers jumped to double digits. Annually speaking, it goes to 11. Really insane. He gets 39.1 million, right? For 3 years if the Carolina Panthers opt out after the 2022 year. Whereas our dog Elvin goes 2023, he gets 40 million, 40.3. It's $1 million less, but it's a year shy of the deal. Now, do you see Carolina getting away from McCaffrey in 2 years? No, I don't see that. He is everything for them. But you look at the Saints in 4 years, can I see the Saints getting from up under Elvin Kamara before his money escalates into double figures? Yes. Why? How? Because he'll be 28 years old. The Saints would have gotten 4 years out of him. He's been here for 4 years now? And that'd be 7-8 years worth of service. That's about as long as a time the running back lifestyle or that lifespan of the running back is. Now, you can extend out Kamara's lifestyle if you give Kamara a competent and reliable back that he can work with, that he don't have to take all that pain with. And that's the thing I talk about. You can extend his life big time, but I just don't see Coach Payton. He doesn't like to use the backup running backs. He has Latavius sitting there, and he don't use them nearly as enough as he's supposed to do. All right, so let's keep going. I'm going to put a few comments up there. If that's the case with Lamar, let's not wait until next year. We want to cut him loose. Let's make a running back 2-3 years before the time comes. Yeah. The opt-out is for the team benefit. That is true, bro. All of it is for the team benefit. You know, Dedrick, you know how that works? The casino always wins. It's the same concept. That's why a lot of the players going there, they're looking for guaranteed money because they understand that at any given time, the Saints could say, let's get from up under him and find a better player, a cheaper player. If they wanted to go that route, they would do that route. And people would not criticize the team for doing that in most cases. Thank you for that. And Anthony says, yeah, we got your back. Oh, thank you, Cameron. Appreciate you, Cameron. Keep your head up. And we praying for you and your family, my friend. We love you and we thank you. Our condolences to you and your family. Keep your head up. Keep your head up, family. You know, and hopefully, I don't know if you look for inspirational things online, like inspirational sayings or prayers or sayings or readings or things like that. Affirmations. That's what I was trying to come up with, the word affirmation. Look for, positive affirmations and surround yourself with those affirmations. Read those affirmations. If you got a print machine, print them and stick them on your wall wherever you got. You know, that's what I do with my children. I take positive affirmations. I print them up and I stick them all over their wall. They can't help but to look at it. And they say on the wall, try that, family. If you got a child, you want, because a lot of negative messages out there. If you got a print machine, go in there and print out positive affirmation and tack it on their wall, all over the wall. If they're in the bathroom, put them, put frame on them and put them all up in there. Do that, because that'll keep that from a subconscious standpoint, that gets in their mind and that helps them build a positive mind frame. And we most certainly need that nowadays. We don't want to get to a lower vibrational level where, we be susceptible to negative influences. You see what I'm saying? Because only if you have to be down here to be susceptible to negative influences. If you're flying high and your vibration is high, ain't nothing could touch you up there. I'm talking about sickness. If you're a positive person and your vibration is high and you flying high from a vibrational standpoint, you ain't gonna learn. You ain't gonna see too many people sick up there. You ain't gonna see it because the body then will kick into effect, and it's a whole mental apparatus involved in that, where the mind kicks in, and then the spirit follows everything. Remember, the body is the last thing. The body merely follows the will of the mind. So if you're a person that's bombarded with negative thoughts, or you're a person that has have a negative disposition and you're stressed all the time, boy, watch how your body tear up. Watch how your body lock up and everything. You know why? Because the body's trying to internalize what the mind is doing. So if you understand that principle, if you understand the positive mind frame, imagine what the body will then do for a person that is not stressed out. That's the opposite of it. I'm telling you, the body is the end result of the whole process, of the mental and spiritual process. If you're a person that has positive or highly spiritual matters, that body then internalizes that in a positive manner versus somebody that's stressed out. You ever see how stressed out people look? Their hair start turning gray, wrinkles are all over their face, the body breaking down. It's internalizing that perspective. So we have to, I'm telling you, do not internalize that. Internalize the opposite. Because we all gonna go through some stuff in life, but it's all about how you handle it. So Cameron, I know that's a heavy burden to do, but understand and know we love you. We appreciate you being here, and keep your head up, and much love and blessings to you and your entire family, for real. Much love to you, family. Appreciate you. All right, Brother Dada, big ups to you. Thank you, Brother Dada, chiming in there as well. Clean hands. I hope there is a clause to void contract if he gets hurt snowboard. Iceman says Kamara can extend his career because he's a legit receiver option. I can see him when he gets older making a transition. That could be a good idea. Thank you, Iceman. Big ups to you. CT Crusher. What's up, fam? Says keep your head up with Cam daily affirmation. CT Crusher. That's the minister right there, bro. That's the reverend right there. Every time Brother Crusher come over, he got great things in there. Almost like Brother Crusher is he come from like a positive, like ministerial background. It just might just be just in the soul. We talk like a positive, like Les Brown or somebody. He dropping jewels like that. Really positive. Thank you for that. All right. Appreciate all the family members, Trey Joseph, and all the family members in the building. Much love. All right. Let's see. Pelicans Nola. Thank you for that. Pelicans Nola said 100%. All right. Uncle Paul says Saints not going to pay that big money to Elvin with his childish self. No turn. Well, I mean, we're going to see, man. We're going to see what goes on, because NFL still has to drop that punishment on the Saints about what happened last year when we were in violation of the C-19 principles. So we don't know what that's going to look like. But ultimately, in the end, I think it'll be a positive transition no matter where we go. All right. Latasha says we need to try and trade Andrews Pete for the brown dude from the Ravens. The brown dude from the Ravens. The brown dude from the Ravens. Brown dude from Orlando Brown. You talking about the offensive lineman, Latasha? Is that who you talking about? That wouldn't be a bad move, depending on what his contract looked like. It would look good at that right tackle, left tackle. He's pretty good. You talking about the offensive lineman, huh, Latasha? Okay, I got Orlando. Okay, thank you, Trey Joseph. I got you, bro. Okay, all right, thank you for that. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad move. That wouldn't be a bad move at all. If the Saints, because Teron Armstead, in my opinion, he might be time for him to go. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad about that. All right. So once again, I'd like to thank all the family members, man. We just hit 90 minutes on the show. And listen, I appreciate you guys for chiming in on this sucker, man. As well. And early on, like I said, I'd like to give a big shout out to my dog TJ from the State of the Saints podcast. He popped in early on in the show before we got into the news, notes, and items of the show. I'd like to thank him for popping in with the Great Saint Think Tank. Great brother. Ray says, what up, y'all? Troutman's going to have a breakout season somewhere around 50 catches, 800, 900 yards. He says, I'm from the future. All right. Thank you for that. Appreciate you there, bro. Appreciate you there, Ray, for dropping that. Yeah, I do also believe. I think we expect great things from Troutman. All right. She says, yep, Brown, second round pick. And okay, thank you, Tasha. Appreciate you. Willie, what's up, Willie? Big ups to you. And Dedrick says we can't make the same mistakes we made with Drew, paying all that money and very little to show for it. We did win a Super Bowl. These past 4 years was tough, no doubt about it. A lot of failure in terms of playoff failure that we had this past season. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see that moving forward, to see exactly where we are as a franchise charting that stuff. You know what I mean, bro? 4 years, in my opinion, was a failure, not from a regular season standpoint, because I don't just look at the regular season. You know, the big dance is the playoff. I expect the Saints to be a playoff team. But what you do when you get in the playoffs, that's the main thing that I like to look at. And we have not been having the success that we were supposed to be having over the last 4 years in the playoffs. That most certainly is the truth. All right, Paul said, Latasha, I would trade Pete for Brown in a heartbeat. All right, Uncle Paulie. Tramal in the building as well. All right, John says getting ready for Zion and All-Star game tonight. All right, what's up, DA? Derek Allison, who that to my dog, Derek? Appreciate you, bro. What's good with you, brother? Good to see you in the chat. That's a good brother there, brother Derek Allison in the buildings. And you know what? Brother CT Crusher and brother Derek Allison, man, I wonder if if y'all brothers are related, man. Is brother, let me ask, because y'all on the show at the same time. Brother Derek and Brother Crusher, man, as you can look, they kind of look like relatives. Brother Derek, Brother Crusher, are y'all relatives, bro? Because look at Brother CT Crusher and look at my dog, Brother Derek. They kind of favor each other. Do y'all brothers know each other? Y'all cousins or family members here? Let me know in the chat, bro, because I'll be thinking y'all have the same spirit, bro. Both very highly spiritual, really brothers. They sound, when you talk to them, they got powerful spirits. They got great, biblical knowledge. You know, are y'all brothers related? Let me know, man. I often thought about that. Tasha said, I wonder what the Vikings going to do with Thielen. He's getting up there in age and kind of rebuilding. And she said, but Brown wouldn't make it because he couldn't play his position. You know how Coach Payton is. Thank you, Tasha. All right. John says Pete and Armstead would be guys I would trade. Inevitable. What's up? Says, yeah, I love Thielen here. Derek says, okay, yes, sir. Out here in Pearl. Okay, he in Pearl, Mississippi. Okay. All right, D. All right. Latasha says, Kevin says Minnesota is wanting to trade up and grab Lamar Chase. Oh my goodness. No, please, let's not make that. Don't let that happen. No. Okay, Derek says he's not sure. I don't know, bro. Y'all brothers, y'all might be cousins. Y'all might not know. CT says, I don't think, man, never know. Got plenty of family. I'm telling you, bro, if you look at Brother Derek and then you look at Brother Crusher, they look like family members, man. And they sound like I'm telling you, man, they got powerful spirits, man, them brothers. Tasha, I'd like to see Thielen in the Saints uniforms. He won't be burning the you-know-what out of secondary anymore. All right. LaShawn, what's up, baby? Says, I see you, Pearl, Mississippi. How about Jackson, Mississippi? All right. All right. If not, he says, if not, brother in Christ for sure. I mean, that definitely the case, bro. No doubt about it. Y'all brothers are definitely that. Jerry says, yeah, we can let Pete go. A lot of people not liking on Pete right now. I can understand that. Paul says, I agree, Pete and Armstrong could go. Kevin said Minnesota going for the jugular. They love LSU players, which the Saints did. CT Crush said, man, I hope we can get Cox from LSU. Yeah, bro, we'll see. Yep, they the same person, Sean says. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, they are family members, man. I'm telling you, man. Derek says in Christ, I have to agree with you, bro. I mean, listen. Tasha says Armstead had his best season in Saints uniform this year. Keep him. LOL. All right. Bind my spirit. All right. All right. So with that being said, Brother Dada says you tickled the hell out of me the other day on the show talking to Black Suede and Big Q. Yep. Willie. Oh, yeah. Willie went off, man. Willie got an inborn hate for Lamar Jackson. You knew it was. I could not debate Willie. Anytime somebody tell you that he won't be great because his name. And I was like, what you mean? Well, his name Lamar Q. That mean he ain't going to. What? I said, Willie, the name ain't got nothing to do with it, brother. It's all about the game, not the name. Because you can have a guy that's, if it's all about a name, then Michael Jordan's sons would have been greater than he was. You see, that never happened. I can very rarely pull a really great player, whether it was a boxer, football player, basketball player, whatever, and said that you had a great player, and then his son came along and just bypassed him. And he was greater than his dad. You see what I'm saying? That rarely happens. Like if you look at Walter Payton, his son, Jared, or whatever his name is, he was nowhere even close. You see what I'm saying? It's very rarely you see that. And I say that to say, what's all in the name? It's all about the game, not the name. But Willie was like, because his name is Lamar, he ain't gonna be worth. Now I can't speak on that, bro. I can't say nothing about that, man. I can't speak on that there, brother Willie. All right. Paul says Big Q, the Saints need to do something with Lattimore soon. They shall, bro. They shall. John says always getting hurt, restructure the contract. Yep. Yeah, he says, old dude had me dying. Yep. Willie does that, man. Willie is a comedian. I told him he need to change his profession and become a comedian, bro. Because Willie's a funny dude, man. He's a funny dude. All right, good to see you on here, fam. Let's see, Psych. I hope I'm saying that right. Isaac Visquez. Hope I'm saying that right, my friend. Armstead's a great player and a big locker room presence. They all celebrate to his music too. Did anybody hear his album, bro? I didn't get a chance to listen to his music, bro. Mr. Vasquez, is this album any good? Answer that in the chat, bro. I didn't hear his album. Kevin says a lot of pressure to live up to a legend. I know, LeBron James' child, he got to do that. But Michael Jordan's children didn't do it. Walter Payton's children didn't do it. Very rarely do you see a great player, son come along and eclipse him. It just don't happen. That pressure, like Kev said, it's hard to do. Willie says, well, I guess little boy Jackson's son going to be named Willie in the OCC. There you go. Lataj says, Lattimore too inconsistent for me. Brother Paul, hell, Jack Rabbit older than him, and he had a lot. And you're right, Tasha. I said this before, Janoris Jenkins outperformed Lattimore last year. He was the best cornerback on the team. Now, he dropped 5 interceptions by my count. He being Jack Rabbit last year, he could have been 8-9 interceptions last year. Could have been a lead. He dropped a lot of interceptions last year, but you're absolutely right. He was Jack Rabbit outperformed Laddie Daddy, no doubt about it. Thank you for that comment, Tasha. And it says, yep, chipping away at the cap from bottom up. Pete contracts need to. That's next. I'm telling you, it's coming. Seth, what's up? Sam says Cameron McGrone out of Michigan. Okay. Crusher says, damn, Willie. I know Willie hardcore, bro. Natasha, I heard, to be honest, only good song is BOA. All right. Clean Hands says, how many cuts restructures are signing this week? 10 more or less. I say at least 5 or 6 of them, bro, because realistically speaking, depending on coming up, you're looking at least 6 of them. And I'm saying in the next 6 or 7 cuts, the Saints could be underneath that figure. They could be up underneath that real soon. We're going to see. All right. Ms. Vasquez says, yeah, his music is actually really good on Apple. Okay. Isaac. All right. Okay. All right. All right. That's a very unique way to spell. Okay. Good. Okay. I got you now. Isaac. All right. Appreciate you, Isaac. Thank you for that correction. All right. DeWine, what's up, fam? Says, why are we paying Taysom so much money? He makes more than Kamara. Ex Coach Payton. Coach Payton loves that man. Jamal says, yeah, Pete should have been the first one that needed a pay cut like Easton for a big contract. You got a point on that. What's up, Dustin? Big ups. He says, who do you think we'll get at the 28th pick in the NFL draft, bro? Man, that's a good question, bro. I mean, a lot of people can't cue him. We need a linebacker. Me personally, bro, I would if the safety, I would take secondary, bro, because it depends on what Dennis Allen do. If we slide Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back to safety, then I will go in a different direction. But if we don't and we keep Chauncey at cornerback at the nickel back position, I say we go safety. If a guy like TCU's Trevor Morick is there, I would take him because he's a really smart safety that can hit downfield. And if we don't, and Marcus Williams is odds on we end up losing him. So I'm looking at safety as a big move. I wouldn't go quarterback. Me personally, I don't think Sean Payton takes quarterback, man. About at 28th, you probably ain't gonna find a quarterback. At 28, you want to go. So I would take either something in the secondary or something in the pass rush situation, maybe a defensive end. You're looking at Davenport, injury history, hadn't played a full season. You're looking at Cam Jordan getting old. He only had 5.5 sacks last year. We're gonna need a young edge rusher that can come in, and just in case if something happened with Davenport, I know Carl Granderson's there, but you're gonna need a guy there in the future to deal with if Cam gets hurt. You know, we've been fortunate with Cam, but what if Cam gets hurt? What you gonna do? So I mean, in terms of future perspective, and besides, you can never have too many pass rushers. I wouldn't be upset getting the edge rusher there. Perhaps you're looking at a game like we talked about Xavier Collins, the Tulsa dude who can play both positions. Maybe the Saints look at him, although I don't know if he'll be available there, but Xavier Collins is interested at 28. You know, it depends. But usually 28th, that's that position where teams are going, they'll say, we'll take the best player that falls to us, wherever that may be. So if the Saints stand there, you know, hopefully we get a safety, hopefully we get a pass rusher. I doubt if a quarterback falls to us. And then, of course, there are other players, like if you want a wide receiver at that position because you're not confident with what you have. Hopefully you're a guy like Terrace Marshall Jr., which I like. So it's different prospects. For me personally, if Trevor Morick is there from TCU at the safety position, that's who I'll take after that pick. That'll be a big value right there. But thanks for the question, Dustin. Much love. Appreciate you. All right. Let's keep it moving. I'm going to go over a few, and then we're going to head out. We're going to dirk out on this one. Tasha says, I want to get Tutu Weld in the second or third round. Big Sean said, Jack Rabbit jumps routes regularly. He needs to hold on to the ball. I know, bro. He has great vision. He sees it coming. Maybe you need to get stickier gloves or something, man, because he dropped way too many interceptions last year. So did Jack Rabbit. Laddie Daddy. They dropped too many interceptions last year. It's tough. Jamal says Jenkins needs a pay cut too. You might see that. Paul says, Q, do you think Coach Richard makes DBs work on their legs and hamstrings? I sincerely hope so. He'll bring something extra to where Aaron Glenn would be interested. Coach Richard's a very good secondary coach. You know, he'll change it up, give him a breath of fresh air, you know, over with Aaron Glenn. And hopefully the Saints will give him some talent to work with back there, man. You know, bring some quality cornerbacks and safeties in that Coach Richard can work with. Thank you, Brother Paul. Simply Tosh says, she says, yeah, my side's hurting. I was talking about Willie. Yeah. Dedrick says, DL situation kind of got me nervous. Might have to draft a defensive lineman. Yeah, that could be a point too, bro, because they have looked at quite a few people. Trey Brown is a beast, says Kevin. Willis says, Taysom make the money he makes because you didn't listen to our last conversation. He's a white backup and is very lucrative. Okay, there go Willie. Thank you, Willie. Isaac says, you think Montgomery will get number 2 reps if we let Murray go do the cap? I think so. I would agree with that, Isaac. I think he will be in line. Sean Payton respects and like Ty Montgomery. Saints signed him back to that deal. He fits well in Sean Payton's very versatile offense. You could put Kamara and Ty in the same backfield. He runs power. He can run the power game as well. He can split out, play wide receiver. He's very, very talented. Just hope that he stays healthy. Tasha says Nick Easton played better than Pete. It looked like every time we got plenty of Andrews, Pete was hurt. Yeah, he was banged up bad last year. Seth said it would be smart for the Saints to trade Brown from 28th to 2nd early, and that's not bad, Seth. If the Saints don't see somebody like that they won't trade back to accrue more picks, not a bad stratagem if they don't see something that they like. Not a bad call there. Dewan says, what's Peyton number? He don't want to talk to nobody, bro. He just wants to stay on his lonesome. Big Sean said, I think we'll trade that first round pick. We'll see, bro. We'll see. You never know. John says, Q, which one of these guys do you have the most confidence as a QB in this league? Trubisky, Mariota, or Drew Lock? Oh, that's an awful list. but only because Mitch Trubisky, you can make the case that Trubisky had a very inconsistent style of what was going on up there in Chicago over the last 4 years, similar to what Jameis Winston, a lot of changing of the guard and instability there. You know, you can attribute that to Mitchell Trubisky. Drew Lock is just, I don't know what to say about him. Marcus Mariota, it's simply due to injuries. Marcus Mariota, if he would have stayed healthy, he could have been a young dueling quarterback. I could see him having something similar to what Ryan Tannehill got going on with Tennessee. If he was standing, he's accurate. He can make every throw. He's tall. He's intelligent. Mariota's issues is due to injury. You know, if you can protect him and let him stand up there, you can get a lot out of Marcus Mariota. He's incredibly intelligent, makes every throw, but he just can't. He needs to build that stuff up. You got to protect him back there. So I do. Out of those three, John, I would take Mariota. I would have to go with him. Jerome says trade Pete and give Clapp or Easton the job. The Saints are trying to get Easton back, but they got other suitors. I don't know if we can go in that direction. All right, Tosh says Jenkins was good this year. He still has a lot left in tank. If you ask me, he brought a lot of pressure to the QB. He just sucks against good tight ends. Yeah, it's not a strong suit. Thank you, Tasha. Dada says Tasha Willie was clowning. He need to come every week. Paul says Q, where says Big Q, where will Clapp at? Clapp is still on the team, brother Paul. He's still on the team. Dedrick says we might need to find 3 more draft picks. We might need to consider getting rid of Davenport and looking at replacing Cam Jordan as well. I don't think the Saints go that. Right now, they want to see if Davenport, he could pretty much have a Trey Hendrickson style of year. If anything showed us, if Trey Hendrickson gave us anything besides the 13 and a half sacks, what he did give us is hope that the same transition can happen for Davenport. Perhaps Davenport has a Trey Hendrickson type situation this upcoming year. And the Saints, of course, they gave 2 first-round draft picks up to get him. I say they don't get rid of him that way. Maybe they could see him turn into something. Davenport, speaking of, and Cam, they're all in on Cam. So, we'll see, we'll see how it shakes. Tasha says Bolton. I've seen a lot of mock drafts with us taking Nick Bolton. Yeah, Bolton is a good player as well. We'll see. We'll see if he falls to us at 28 or we need to go up and get him. Kenny, what's up, Kenny? Says Rousseau from Miami drop. Will you take him at 28? He's considered the best edge rusher in the draft. Big defensive end. I would most certainly take him at 28. If Rousseau drops to you at 28, yeah, Kevin, Kenny, no doubt about it. I will snatch him up. DeWine says we can get away. He says we can get from linebacker from Texas. The linebacker from Texas. I don't know who that is, bro. Cleanhand says Brees will retire next Sunday. He says the 14th is the 15-year anniversary when he signed. How about that? Good information, Cool Hands. How about that? Very interesting. Paul says Fowler needs to be gone. I think Fowler only had a 1-year deal, brother Paul. I think he's already a free agent at this point. Kenny says dropping to 28. I don't see that, but if be interested to see if he does. All right, let's keep it going. All right, it jumped on me there. Tasha says Fowler, a.k.a. Marcus Davenport. Our inevitable said, I think we should do everything we can to keep the secondary together and draft the safety. Not bad. Dustin says J.C. Horn, but we may need to move up to get him. Right. J.C. Horn, I don't see him falling to us at 28. You never know, though. Willie says, all my fans, you can hit me up on the – all right, and he didn't put it on there. Maybe it's further down. So how you feel about Javon Howland asking inevitable about Javon Howard? I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look him up. Crusher says, who do you expect to see cut or traded next week? I think Emmanuel Sanders will be a catch. I agree with you. Restructurings are coming, and we covered that a little early in the show. We talked about guys like Mike Thomas that you got to look at. You got to look at Teron Armstead, Patrick Robinson's a guy that you got to look at releasing possibly. Latavius Murray is another guy you got to look at either restructuring. Emmanuel Sanders could be an outright cut to free up money. He can get $6 million. I think it is $6 million back on dead cap, back on the salary for this year. We'll see how it shakes, but most certainly those names are the one. But very well, you can see by the end of next week, the Saints could be close to zero and working north or plus on the cap come next week. Remember, the 17th is the deadline. I want to see the 15th, between the 15th and the 17th. I want to say the 15th because I'm getting conflicting articles that saying the 15th is the day, although the 17th. So either 15th, between the 15th and 17th, the Saints have to be underneath that cap. If not, they'll get hit with that penalty. So with that being said, man, we're going to span on down here. And Ike says, that guy's a beast. All right, Tasha says only reason Hendrickson got all them sacks because Cam. That is a great point. That is true. They were doubling down Cam, and Trey Hendrickson did what he was supposed to do, which was beat majority of the time single blockers. So you're absolutely right on that as well. So that is true. Paul says, Big Q, where will DJ Swearinger fit in the Saints defensive room next year? Well, he's a free agent. So if the Saints do sign him, he'll probably act more as a backup at this stage of his career as depth. But hopefully the Saints are, man, we need to get a safety here. If it's not Chauncey Gardner, we move back there. We need to find a young safety that can play the position. So that is a major need for the Saints, in my opinion. I understand people saying, Q, we need to get a linebacker and a defensive end. But the truth be told, right now, Marcus Williams is gonna not gonna be in the market for you guys. You know, he's gonna be somebody gonna pay him north of $10 million. I know the Saints are interested in getting him back, but will you pay north of $10+ million a season for Marcus Williams to remain on the team? I say not. It'd probably be more feasible for you to find a safety that's more identifiable to that mentality of what the defense is. And I mean a downfield, intelligent safety that know how to tackle. My only gripe against Davenport is that he does not know, not Davenport, excuse me, Marcus Williams is he does not know how to tackle well. And you cannot have a safety back there that can't tackle. That's commonsensical stuff. If you're going to have a safety back there, to me, he got to be one of the top, if not one, but either one of the top 5 best tacklers on your team, simply because if you put a 9-tackling safety back there and he missing tackles, he's the last line of defense, meaning if he miss a tackle, it's a touchdown. We've got to have a guy back there that knows how to tackle. That's my only one. But the top critique of Marcus Williams' game is that he whiffs because he's not a good tackler. Most tacklers, majority of the time, don't whiff. Listen, when I play football, I'm not going to whiff on blowing up a goddamn quarterback on the goal line. That's a present to me. That's like Christmas. You know, that's like a birthday to me. And, you know, I'm not going to whiff at. I'm going to blow your ass up on that goal line. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to whiff if that's just my nature. If that's a guy running the ball and he running and I'm trying to stop him from getting a touchdown, I'm going to blow your ass up. That's like, okay, this is what I'm here for. I'm going to tear you up. And then when I'm going to tear you up and then it's making a play, and then what it is a mental game. Because if I'm known for a guy back there tearing and tagging your ass, then you're going to have that thought process. You're going to have a stamp in your head. If I go across the middle here, where that dude Big Q at? Where he at? You know, you ain't going to be coming down here with the ball, handing it out, saying first down and doing all that stuff. Oh, no. I'm going to tear you up out there. And that you got to implant that in those wide receivers' heads because they start alligator arming the ball like Jared Cook did. They'll do all of that. Jared Cook was alligator arming the ball because he knew Devin White and Levante David was rolling around in there. Tear your ass up. That's what I want. I want to tear your ass up, safety. And that's not Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams is a nice dude. He's a really good dude, great heart, really solid individual, awesome dude. He's not that mean guy that gonna knock you down into existence. You know what I'm saying? He'll hit you and help you up. And, you know, like my old coach said, what you helping that guy up for? Well, coach, I thought it was, don't help. Let the referee help his ass up. Let the other player help him. Your job is to put him on the ground, not to help him up. I said, all right, coach. He said, nah. And that's how you got to approach it. That's the kind of guy you need back there. You need a guy that's going to knock them guys into next Wednesday and leave a stamp in their mind, letting them know that you ain't going to be coming around here talking and pointing your hand, talking about first down. You're going to get tore up in here. And let me tell you something, that electrifies the defense too when they know that. So that's why I said that's my only thing. But Marcus Williams is me, man, I got love for Marcus Williams. He's just not that kind of safety. Hopefully we find that guy. Now listen, Swearinger is that type. Swearinger will tear your ass up in there. He will tear you up in there. He will. He just is. I just think that he might be he's more built now to be a veteran backup than a starter, but he can start for you in small spurts. But you want somebody that's a lot more athletic than DJ Swearinger is. And you want a safety that can cover some ground as well. A guy that can play the safety position and then come down and then also make hits for you as well. who has the intelligence to get down, who also knows to stay back and make plays and looks for the hit, tear your ass up. That'll be the mind thing for me. All right, what's up, Cap Manny? Latasha says, the only person I know how to tackle on the team is Demario and Cam. I never seen any running back break away. That's a great point, Tasha. Thank you for that. Matt Peters says, I'm praying that Quine will heal soon. He'll be in practice soon. Yeah, and restructuring this deal fast as he get healthy. The Saints can restructure that contract and do that. Willis says, Marcus Williams can't think. Jerome says, Q, can you imagine, can you franchise Williams or Winston and trade them to Houston? Or no, you can't. Well, you can. I guess you can. You can tag either one of those guys. I just don't think the Saints. Well, I don't think they're going to tag Marcus Williams. I know they want him back. Do the Saints then tag him? That's a good question. I don't know if they will or not. But they have a lot of inside information said the Saints they want Marcus Williams back on the team. And I'm like, man, I just don't understand, man. Why would you want a non-tackling safety like Marcus Williams back on his team? Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, and I got to keep saying it, I like Marcus Williams a lot, but he's not the type of guy that you want back there. He just doesn't know how to tackle well. You can't not have that type of liability on the back end of your defense, and he's the last line of defense. You do not need a non-tackling safety as the last line of defense. Why you kind of go get him back? I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't get it. Tosh says shit. He knocked the shit out of Kel. Oh yeah, well. Kevin said I like Hasma Nasira than at safety, 6'4", 220. Sound like a linebacker. Who is this guy? I'm going to look him up, Kev. He would knock you off. He said head off. Only problem is he's already had Achilles injury. I don't know. I'm going to have to look him up, Kev. I'm going to have to look him up. DeWine says Williams hit like a water balloon, bro. He's not there all the time. CT says, yeah, knock. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what you need back there. Dedrick says, I'm a fan of Henderson. He was straight bulldozing left tackle when he played for the Chiefs. He says he was bulldozing left tackle. All right. Inevitable Malcolm's a good tackler. Paul says, DeWine, you're right. Marcus Williams can't crush a red grape food fight. What's up, 504 Hot Boys? I'm going to be mad as hell if I see Trubisky in a Saint uniform. Just saying, bro. I just keep getting that, man, for whatever reason. Don't be surprised if the Saints reach out to Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky is an advanced form of Taysom Hill, the quarterback. I ain't talking about the athlete Taysom Hill. I'm talking about the quarterback Taysom Hill. That's what Mitchell Trubisky is. Look at Mitch Trubisky's game and then look at Taysom Hill when he tries to play quarterback, not running back, tight end, or wide receiver. Look at the tape on Taysom and then look at Mitchell Trubisky. They mirror each other a lot. Trubisky is an advanced form at the quarterback position of what Taysom Hill is trying to be. I'm telling you. Go look at the film. I was even like, man, the differences, the comparative differences between the guy, the similarities, rather, between the two dudes as a quarterback is uncanny. They're uncanny how they serious. But Trubisky is the advanced form of Taysom Hill, the quarterback. So that's why I said, don't be surprised if Coach Payton looks at him. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised at all. All right, Willis says, yeah, he says he can't think every time he think he get a cramp. Well, he got to operate on instinct. That's a major portion to the game, family. Instinct is a major portion to this whole thing. Instinct. A lot of these guys, if you out there thinking, more than likely the play is going to bypass you. You got to be a person that has to be instinctual. You have to act on instinct. If you're thinking too much out there, you're going to get turned around. But if you plan on instinct, you're going to see a lot of benefit there. And that's what a lot of the coaches try to get the players to the point where they're operating off of the instinct as opposed to out there overthinking things. That's when you start having issues out there. Tasha, that's why a lot of people miss Von Bell. He sucked in coverage, but he could tackle out of you and force a fumble. That is true. He got one interception in his duration here, but he was solid everywhere else. That is true. Brandon says if we restructure most of the contracts, we still have a chance to be a Super Bowl or bust type of team. That's true. If you don't relinquish too many people and you make a really good move at the quarterback position, and you hit on the draft, you hit on unfred, you definitely could be a team that's sitting there again. No doubt about it. What's up, Todd? Who that to you, fam? Good to see you in the chat. All right, Inevitable says I'll take Marcus May from the Jets over Marcus Williams. Okay, I keep getting that. People keep saying Marcus May over Marcus Williams. I keep getting that a lot. Willis says Mitchell Trubisky used to be a running back. DeWine says, yeah, you need to double up on leg day. Isaac says possibly we get Teddy back. The contract is kind of funny style. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I got to say I'm a no. I'm going to put a I don't know on that one, Isaac. I don't know if that'll be a good one, bro. If you force me to, I would have to put a thumbs down on that. I don't like that Bridgewater contract, to be honest with you. And then if something happened between him and Sean Payton for him to decide not to go that way, I think it was a mistrust after Sean Payton told him that he was going to be the quarterback. And then without informing him that he wasn't going to be the quarterback, he just said Taysom's going to be the heir apparent. And then, you know what I'm saying? Remember that last year? I think that had something to do with him ultimately decided to go into Carolina, because if Teddy Bridgewater realized he could beat out Taysom Hill for the job, we know he could. But for him to go somewhere else and not stay with the Saints, that does speak to something else going on. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, bro. We'll see. All right, Tasha said, I'll be scared of hell as Taysom. He throw a deep ball. How the hell you throw? Overthrow. I know, Tasha. I said the same thing. Jared Cook is a 6'7" tight end. He was overthrowing that man by at least 3 feet. And I'm talking about Jared Cook is 6'7", and he jumping and reaching to get the ball. And the ball is like 3 feet over that hand, that outstretched hand. I don't understand how. I turned into a big Chief Brown feather on that one. How? I don't know how he did that. I don't know how that happened. I don't know. Paul said, I can see Trubisky in the Saints jersey. I'm telling you. Seth said he's a safety out of Florida. I'm going to have to look him up, bro, because he sounds like one of the type of people we'd be interested in. 6'4", 220, can play a safety, can go into the line. Oh, man, that sounds about right there. All right, Capman said, what about Marcus Mariota? That could work if you could protect him. I do like Marcus Mariota there. DeWine says, well, if Taysom at QB is a playoff or a bust, if we have Taysom at QB, I think Taysom, Jameis gets us to the playoffs, but Super Bowl, that's a whole nother realm of conversation, in my opinion. Another will say, I think Teddy was 3 for 63, something like that. All right. Ike says, please don't give Deontay Harris more wide receiver reps. I think Sean Payton's going to give it to him, bro. He was doing it last year, Brandon says, I know it's a long shot, but I would be real confident that we can get over the hump if we were able to get Winston. We'll see. Now, Tasha says, if you've seen Jared Cook, his hands are big. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. You're absolutely right. How you do that, you're absolutely right. Was overthrowing them by at least 3 feet. Some of them, I would say 5 feet. I don't know how you do that, overthrow the man that badly. That guy is 6'7", jumping. Him jumping, he had to jump at least 2 feet in the air to try to get that with an outstretched hand, and it was 3 feet over it. That is absolutely preposterous for you to outthrow a receiver that damn big. You're absolutely right. DeWine said he throwing punts. What's up, Hattie? He said, why does Peyton love Taysom Hill so much? Well, I think it's because Taysom, man, fought his way from the ground up. He was a guy that was appreciatory toward Coach Payton. He came in telling Coach Payton, whatever I need to do to get on the field. And I think that won a lot of brownie points for Coach Payton. Whether he wanted to play special teams, wide receiver, tight end, running back, wildcat quarterback, whatever he wanted, he told Coach Payton, whatever you want me to do to get on the field, I'm going to do it. And I think that shined in Coach Payton's mind. And it kind of gave him like a warm spot for Taysom, so to speak. And I think he feels obligated to give him an opportunity after Taysom came on and did as much as he did. And then he promised him, called him Steve Young. So a lot of this, I think, is due to promise with Coach Payton. But he has a warm spot, a soft spot, rather, for Taysom Hill, I believe. Dedrick says, Tasha at Newman arm strength can be a disadvantage. Taysom be throwing missiles. Gives everybody big on Paris Ford. But what about Humfanga out of USC? Now, I did watch some footage on him. He's not bad at all. Tasha says a QB has no touch on his pass, will throw like Taysom Hill when he under a pass rush, especially. All right, says the guy out of Florida State. All right, Neville says you can picture Jameis in the Bucs uniform. You have to picture him in the Saints uniform and tell yourself he was a number 1 overall pick, then you'll feel better, all right? All right, Tasha says, I'm taller than Deontay Harris. All right. All right, Eddie says, who that? Family, God bless y'all off. Have a great day. All right, thank you, Eddie. Who that to you, brother? Appreciate you being here. How, says Brother Paul. How? You know, a lot of us got Native American or indigenous people in our backgrounds, me especially, and among other family members. We covered this before. You know what I'm saying? So I often call myself Big Chief Brown Feather. How? You know, Chief. All right, Cap Man said they gave his ass too much money. Though I know, bro, that's that soft spot Coach Payton got. 16 million. Basically gave him the same contract Emmanuel Sanders had. Pretty much the same deal, you know. A lot of money, man. They definitely overpaid for Taysom, but he sees him more as a quarterback than anything else. So we'll see exactly how that goes. Brandon says, I like James, but I don't know if he's the guy to get us to the Super Bowl. Well, you know, time will tell, my friend. The Saints, if Jameis could definitely, I think, lead us to the playoffs, I don't know so much about the Super Bowl. I have my doubts, you know, and I need to see more of what the moves the team is going to do in free agency and in the draft before I speak to Super Bowl runs and all of that such. It's too premature right now to me to start even looking in that direction until I see what the team has in its plans. Trey says QB Hill will kill the team for the next 2 to 3 years. All right. Paul says Harris needs to stick to the kick return game. Latasha for real. And Latasha says, I think Taysom can lead us. Teams are scared of Taysom. Remember, the Chiefs didn't know how to game plan for him too. Very true. But also, we got to also remember to think about it. As they gather more film on you, they figure out ways to stop you. And I often said that if I was the defensive coordinator, and how would I stop Taysom Hill? Simply what I would do is I would I would put 7 in the box to stop him from running the ball and force him to be a guy that makes accurate passes. So that's what I would do. You know, that's what I would do. I would play guys in the box and I would blitz them. I would contain him to the pocket and force him to beat us from the pocket. His strong suit is getting outside of the pocket and making improvised plays with his feet. If I could contain Taysom Hill to the pocket and force him to be and relegate him to a pocket passer, you'll then see him break down, overlook and hold on to the ball longer than what he's supposed to, which ultimately results in sacks or balls being batted down or incompletions. So, I mean, if they get enough film on Taysom, you'll start seeing them defending him real successful. I think last year they didn't have enough film on Taysom Hill, but I think they got enough now to defend against him unless he changes his game in the upcoming season. So that's something to think about as well. Anthony says Taysom a slow reader as well, right? Hanging on the ball too much. See, that's why I said you would force him to remain in the pocket. And as he overthinks things, then bad things start to happen. And that's what we've seen in part in 2 of the games last year, of the 4 games that he played starting quarterback with, especially in the Philly game toward the end, where if he would have marched the team down the field, the Saints would have beat Philly. He stood in that pocket, held on to that ball too long, and then something bad happened. So, I mean, you have to be more decisive than that. And I think Coach Payton, to a degree, realized that Taysom's not ready for the big time like he did. That's why Drew Brees, he's waiting on him to make a decision to come back. As previous last year, he wanted Drew for 1 year, and then he turns it over to Taysom. Now all of it's changed to the point where he wants Drew to come back for this year as well. That's because he realized that Taysom is not ready. I'm telling you. Okay, moving on. DeJuan says we need to refund on Cook. Brandon says he agrees. All right. Sean says Watson or Wilson could get us to the Super Bowl. Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Another one says that needs to happen. That dude is a winner. All right. What's up, J Rock? He said, I think James could really be good for the Saints. He has been humbled. He's matured. He has something to prove. I say he gets to the playoff. I just don't know about the Super Bowl yet, bro. I just don't know. I won't put too much pressure on James with the Super Bowl. I dropped my expectations to playoffs and then NFC Championship game. You know, I'm not so. I need to see more off this offseason, man, to go even further. You know what I mean? Tosh says, what was Taysom completion percentage? I think it was good. I don't have that in front of me right now. Give me a second. I can look that percentage up. Give me a second. I could pull that up quick. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll look this out, answer a few comments, and then we'll end out on the stream today. Give me a second. I'll look up his percentages here. All right. Give me just a second here. All right. All right. Give me just a second here. Let me pull that up here. me see if I can pull up his stuff and take a look at it. All right. See, the guy $16 million on his cap this year. Boy, you won't tell me something. All right. Statistics from Taysom Hill is, let's see, last year in 2020. All right. He was 88 of 121 for almost 73% completion percentage. He threw for 928 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. All right. So he had a 73% completion percentage according to what I'm looking at right here. Okay. All right. Let's keep it going. What's up, Dev84? He says, John, he says, right-handed Steve Young, right. All right. DeWine says, Hill threw the ball too hard on short passes, too high on middle passes, and holds the ball. Yeah, he has. And I think Peyton realized that. Dedrick says, if Taysom ain't ready by now, he won't ever be ready. We don't have time for on-the-job training. You either ready or not. That's right. You know, that's like 2 R&B groups right there, brother. Dedrick just references. He says, if you ain't ready by now, that lends itself to the Temptation. No. To the OJs. All right, so that the first part of it, if you ain't ready, if you don't know me by now, if you ain't ready by now, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking the OJs on that first part and the second part is after 7. Throw a little old school in there. All right, Paul says Taysom got them Steve Walsh eyes. Oh, man, damn. Big Sean says Sway should be saying trust to Mickey. That guy's a musician with the yeah, I know Mickey is a genius with that stuff, man. Mickey got it down to a science. Brandon says Taysom not the answer. Tasha is like Hill uses all his dark strength to pick up 7. I mean, he runs. It's like every run is like the last run of his life, isn't it? It's really spectacular, to be honest with you. He runs like every run is his last run. And pro football, man. That's why it's hard to capture that guy, man. He's got a lot going on with him. All right, family, that's going to do it for the show. I'd like to thank all you guys, man. It's been over 2 hours, man, almost 3 hours of show content today on this Sunday show. And we meant to come at you for a couple hours, but of course, you know, it's nothing but the love to be able to talk to the family members out here in the live stream today. Hope you guys enjoyed the Sunday stream. Please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe if you aren't a subscriber, share the show's link on your social media feed. It helps us out as well. Join the membership page of our YouTube platform. Also, feel free to go to patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. That's patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. That's patreon.com/the Pro Media Network to join our Patreon channel, as well as we have lot content we do every Tuesday, the TSC Q&A live show. We got the On Q with Big Q show that I'm supposed to be doing really soon as well. I'm kind of working out the schedules, got some other stuff going on, but I promise the family members the next On Q with Big Q is coming. I promise you, just be patient with me. I'm working through a few little things right now, scheduling wise, trying to get that settled as well. So with that being said, I thank all you guys. If you want to check out the merch links is in the description section. We have several merch stores that also benefit the platform. You can get hats, tees, all kind of stuff, man. I mean, literally hundreds of dozens of products are available on our merch shops as well. And whatever you do, it helps out the platform. Also like to thank our super chatters and our Cash App family, as well our PayPal people that donated to the show as well in this show. And I like to thank all you guys once again. Also, I thank my dog TJ from the State of the Saints who chimed in early on in the show for chiming in as well. Much love to you, my friend. And as always, family, appreciate you popping in on the show. We'll be back on Monday with more news notes of the day. We appreciate you guys for chiming in. Much love. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, the rest of the weekend with your family, friends, and loved ones. So from me here at the Great Saint Think Tank and the Sports Coma, I salute you. Y'all keep your heads up. Until next time, my friend, I'll see you later. Peace and who that means.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome. Number 1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons. We won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that? Who got cut and who back? Rookies and the vets. Players you should look at. It's the Sports Coma. You don't want to miss it. Got the Pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation? Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Family, check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and who that too.